Hope I have got do a little turning. Well, it looks like it's getting warm out there. So maybe get
Yeah.
a little break in it. Sorry to see Al's getting that rain.
Yeah, that's good for a change. Just hope we all of a sudden get way too much. I'm not going to worry about that yet.
Not yet. Oh,
Not yet.
things are shaping up quite
Not
nicely.
yet.
Folks, we're and the Level Up team is working hard at developing the programs. And we're going back to our coaches right now for more information and photographs and ideas and all. And you see that we threw out a promo this week for JJ, who's not only an awesome newsletter director, editor, director, publisher, creator, master. I don't know, we can throw any other averages we want on that, but JJ does it for us, but he's one of our coaches that Level Up. We're working on a few more right now, and we're also waiting for input from you, our membership, on what you want from Level Up or what you expect. There's something you can do. And I've mentioned this before. What we're expecting to do, be able to do, is to create a site where if you're a member and you're there and you videotape activities, be it a whole demonstration, partial demonstration, a back room get together or whatever, place where you can go drop that footage at. Just go unload it. Just a store spot. So we can use it later on and develop a little memento roll of what Level Up was all about. See, we can't put a production crew on staff. That's not going to happen. We got one here. So that's what we're working on for Level Up. And next week, we got a new newsletter coming out, fresh edition. And that's all dependent on your membership. When you turn something, you create something. And I've seen it lately. I'm getting some input from members who show me how things are going on their late as they create it. And that's really helpful to us. We'd like to have some more of those pieces being created and where they came from and how they're turning, et cetera, et cetera. And your ideas on how to hold stuff, turn stuff, create stuff, decorate it, expand it, where it came from. How'd you come up with this idea? How did you figure out how to do it is a major thing. My old thing has been, if you can hold it, you can turn it. Well, how did you hold it? And et cetera. And a new project I'm working on, but my got a little bit of a chronic problem and it's holding me back a little bit right now, but I want to develop a project and you're going to hear about it. It's going to say, "Who are you?" is the name of the project. And it's going to be for you. I want a good, healthy article from you about who are you. If I say, "Carl, I'm Eddie. Who are you?" I want you to tell me who you are, where you came from. You know, were you actually a brain surgeon and you stepped up and became a wood turner? You know, something like that. I want to know where you came from. Why do you do this? Where do you work at? Where's your relief? Where's your dream? If you had the perfect day of wood turning, what would happen? Yeah. And that's not like asking Brenda any new band-aids. No, I'm serious. We all do this for a reason. What is your reason? So the project is called Who Are You? But it came out this week, but that's writing and getting things to the line is not good right now, but it'll get better. But that's what we're working on. We're always expanding worldwide wood turners, always going down the road where others haven't gone. And we always believe we're way out front because of you. And only because of you. You've taken us this far and you will continue with us all the way through. It's what you love to do. And that's what I want to expand on. Who are you? And why do you do it? And what happens? And I remember when I could go in my shop and spin the simplest thing and feel good because I can come out and the next day somebody say, hey, what'd you do? This? Here, you can have it. What is it? No, here. Turned it. It's a doodad to put in your pocket and play with when you're sitting waiting at the red light or whatever. Something like that. A whistle. Really, I joke about it a lot. Making whistles for kids that don't belong in your house, that's awesome. That is just that's fantastic. I mean, you know the relief you get when you do that. Give them this and say, here, Dexter, take this home. And as soon as you get in the car with your mama, let her know you have it. But Dexter's my great grandson. And he's a devil. He is in small form. But it's fun when you can do things like that. You go into a family get together. You're going to have Memorial Day coming up, 4th of July celebrations. Kids are going to be out of school and have parties and picnics to go to. Get a bunch of little things together for the kiddies. Simple little things. Bring them to them and say, look, I made this for you. That's the crown. I don't know if you made royalty, but that's the crown. That's where you belong. So if you get out this week, get into the shop and earn a crown. That's what it's all about. All right. Go back to you, Dane.
Okay.
Dane,
Well,
like I told you earlier.
yes. I just saw that. So right on. I got you. No worries. All right, folks. It's about 4 minutes past the hour, and so figure we'll get a little bit of gallery items in for what folks have been making this week. So let's start off with Mr. Al Dawson. He gets to go first and set the tone for the show.
I've been playing around with spheres. What?
There we go. All right, we got you. You got a low bandwidth, that's all.
Okay. I've been playing around with spheres. If you guys saw what I posted on Facebook about this little turtle, and it worked on the same principle of like Jim Duxbury showed us with bowls of fruit and one on top, and you spin it and see how long it would go. Remember that? Anyway, there's like 5 balls involved with this project, and I've been practicing, and I went and I put the cube on, and I did it the way I see a couple people do it, and I saw Doug do it. I put a square block in between centers on my lathe, and I turned a sphere with that block. It's a nice video. You should check Doug out with that. And here I said, well, what else can you do with a block? And you can make a 3-corner bowl. So I said, well, what am I going to do with it? So I put them both together. I made the sphere, and I got the 3-corner bowl. But it come out nice. Oh, the wood was bad when I started. I only have 1 coat of oil on it right now. It's not raining. I mean, it's not drying as fast as I could get it with the weather that we've had. But doing that sphere with that cube, that's almost goof-proof. If you want to just look over the horizon here, and I'll spin it a little bit, it's really simple to do. Well, doesn't look too good that way, but it really is. And
well, I like how you captured the flaws in it to make it stand out. I really like that, Al. Looks good.
That's
hey, you know what you could do? Hey, Al, you know what you could do with that? You could gild the inside where those voids are. Just gild the inside of the lines. I think that would look sweet. What is
gild?
Gold leaf or silver leaf.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of you guys do it. I haven't done it. I have to do something. I was hoping to get some kind of remark about that, because that's why I mean, I did have it out there for a reason and something,
Right.
I'm sure I was going to get some kind of ideas, but yeah, it's kind of cool. And is Rita on? Is Rita and Jim on?
Yeah,
Jim,
Jim's on. I'm sure Rita's there.
Here's my very weather-beaten lighthouse, island lighthouse.
looks good, Al.
Pretty cool.
I'll probably end up dropping it or something. But,
Yeah, that's a good looking lighthouse.
let's see. I can't.
What did you mount it on?
I saw the. Pardon?
Is that stone or is that wood that you mounted it on?
That's wood. That's just the top of a bark.
Gotcha.
So
Look,
I just saw that. I said, well, that would look really pretty like that after what Rita
I
showed
love the
last
idea
week.
you
It looks like
created
it's
the
sitting on
door.
a bank.
It's an island. Yeah, like a beaten island.
There you go.
I thought it was kind of neat. So,
I like it.
well, well, everybody be good.
you too,
Everybody
Al.
have a good night.
All right. Thank you, Al. Way to set the tone. All right, let's go to Ray. He's got some little stuff he wants to show us. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm hanging in there. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're working through it. But these are the last two pieces that I turned before my accident. And I kind of took them off of that pine bowl that I turned. And so it's kind of hard to see this one, but it's actually a really dark purple. And maybe you can see up here on the lid that the when I burned this one and brushed it, it's got a really big contrast between the rings. So the elevated rings got a real nice gloss coat on them, and then the lower ones are kind of matte. And that was just done with it's got a feature in there, and then I left the bottom natural. It's just a piece of 4x4 pine. So, but it's I get the stuff for free at work. It's dunnage for our equipment, and gives me something to experiment with and play with. And I did this one more kind of in line with that. This one the color showed up a lot better. It's a lot lighter colors. It's kind of yellow, blue, and green.
It's
And
pretty.
then this, but the end grain I found out really soaks up the dye and darkens. And then again, I left the bottom natural, so you've got a bit of contrast. So, yeah, these are fun. It's something that you can just do with a cheap 4x4. Like I said, I get them for free, or you can break down pallets and make some fancy little pieces out of a normally otherwise boring piece of wood. All right.
Sweet. Thank you very much, Ray. All right.
They look good.
I'm gonna skip out of order here because we've got somebody that's on a way different time zone for us. So let's go over to first time shower, Mr. Pete.
Hiya.
You get your
Hi there.
spotlighted. Here we go.
Hiya. Just did a thing. I don't know what it is really. It's a trophy maybe. It's
Sure.
a ribbon finial with another finial inside it because one finial's never enough. On an ash base with the laser engraving. Went over to visit a Welsh club, and in Wales, this dragon is their national emblem. So I just laser engraved the dragon on it, and it's nothing really. I was just playing.
It looks good.
It's pretty cool, Pete.
That's real nice. That's real nice. You gonna,
And
you're
the other
gonna,
piece,
did you video it? Are we gonna see it? How you
no, I
did
didn't video that one.
it?
I did a video recently of doing these ribbon finials, but not this one. And the other thing, I was practicing hollowing, and all I'm doing is practicing the hollowing. But then I got carried away with the ink. So that's some what they call calligraphy ink. So it's an India ink, cheap version. You've got a red and a black. With a little bit of sanding after you put the ink on, the grain comes back into play quite nicely through it. So it's quite a nice little piece.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks great. I like the color. I love dyeing pieces.
I do too.
Both are great.
It's interesting.
That's it. Just a couple of pieces that were sort of next to me, so I just grabbed them.
All right, well done. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Pete, nice,
Great.
nice talking to you.
That wall behind you looks fairly well stocked there, Pete.
It does, yeah.
Hi, John. How you doing tonight? You're muted, sir.
Muted.
All right.
We got you.
A friend of mine called me up one day and said he had a tree, a red oak tree with a lot of burls on it. And I understand we're having a burl challenge or something here. So I thought it might be a good idea to do that. Let's see. This is a tree,
Wow.
Nice.
and that's the upper part of it.
Wow.
Pretty
So-
gnarly tree.
It's a pretty gnarly tree. So I got a piece of it the other day, and I decided to turn it. And this is a vase. It's 8.5 inches tall and 7 inches in diameter. And I've been looking for my Uncle Charlie, who is a cigar smoking dude. And I think I found him here.
It almost looks like a pipe.
At least
Yeah.
he's got
Right.
2 eyes and a nose.
Does look
and
like a
he's got
pipe.
this-
Yeah, that's
You know,
that's,
when
that's a pipe
when you
hanging out
turn
of his mouth.
something, you got to cut stuff off. So I just cut his cigar off. But anyway,
Yeah.
It looks like he's a chewer.
That's
Snort.
great.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, it
that's
looks
really,
good, John.
yeah, that's really pretty.
now
Really pretty.
the burl is not like any burl I've ever seen before. You can see here a little figure, but it's right under the bark. So I got another piece, and I decided I would turn it, and I found that I could take the bark off of it, and I came up with this piece.
Oh, that's cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Now, you all have to help me out here. I'm not sure what to do with it. My wife says leave it alone.
Make a lighthouse.
I would
Make a lighthouse and put on
Sort
it.
of going on with that.
Yep, yep.
Definitely has a
that's
strong
exactly.
chin, nose, and
Go ahead
eye.
finish it. That's a lighthouse base right there.
Yeah, that would
sure
look
is.
great with a lighthouse on
Lighthouse.
top of
That'd
it.
be great for a lighthouse.
There you
Well,
go.
if I can get the lighthouse down in here, I'll probably do that.
There you
What,
go.
what kind
That'd
of
look
what
good.
kind of wood is that, John? Do you know?
It's supposedly red oak.
Because it's the burl, the twisted figure in that burl looks like what happens with some of my live oaks here. So I was just curious.
This was the figure is right under the bark,
Right.
and it doesn't seem to go down deep like other burls do.
Right. Yeah, the live oaks I've got look just like that underneath the bark. In some places. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So leave it alone, huh?
Very nice.
That's
Yeah,
what
I'd
I
make it
done.
I'd make
Yeah,
it a
I'd
base
make
for
it a
lighthouse.
base. Make it a base for something. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Great stuff. Thanks. Thanks for showing that. All right. Let's go to Mr. Phipps.
Hello.
All right, Todd.
Can you see me? Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
so he showed a tree. Here's one that we took down 3 weeks ago. Full, and that's live oak, Billy there. And I'll tell you, those burls, you pull the the bark off them, they look just like what John was just showing.
Yep. What I
And
was saying.
that tree was way gone. I mean, you could drop a bowling ball down the inside of it. There was just nothing left of that dang tree. But I filled the bed of my pickup with burls like that one he had, and about 7 or 8 decent bowl blanks that don't need to be cast or anything, to take advantage of. So hopefully we'll see that stuff soon.
Cool.
But what I did a couple of days ago was made this little tool handle with some this is some bird's eye maple that I had a couple of strips of, and a Doug Thompson tool adapter on the end of it. I debated back and forth whether or not to put a finial on it because it was going to be pretty thick, and the little
You mean ferrule?
I mean a ferrule, yeah, finial ferrule. I'm sorry, yeah, and the inside of this blue thing, it's about a ½ inch longer than that ferrule that's on there, but I put a ferrule behind it anyway, and then I made it because I bought this box scraper at SWAT last year.
Mating a Carter and Son scraper into a Doug Thompson adapter, that tool is gonna break.
So I thought about that, and so, but I bought this tool last year, and I have a ½ inch adapter on a handle from Carter and Sons, and I needed to use this thing the other day to make a little just a little closed in, small little box. I wanted to square end on it, and I didn't have it in a tool handle. I could have taken the ½ inch spindle gouge out of a handle and put that in it, but I was too lazy. So there I am trying to use that thing with no handle. And I was just like, you know what? I want to put a handle on that thing, but I wanted to make sure it was removable so I could sharpen it a little easier than having some big handle. Because then, when I sharpen it, I got to be able to go all the way around that side to get that flat spot. I didn't want some big handle in there sharpening it. So, and then the dyes the stains that I use, these are the chestnut spirit stains, and the royal blue, and then they're just blue. So royal blue, blue, and royal blue on the ends.
Was that your darkest color? Was the blue? Did you put a darker?
No,
Okay,
I didn't put anything into it. So the dark spots you're seeing is what that royal blue did in those birds, in that bird around those bird's eyes.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so I didn't sand off a base color or anything on this. It was all just
Todd, is that
colors.
bird's eye or curly maple?
It's a bird's eye maple. You can if I get it to the right place, you might be able to see
right there,
it.
right there.
Yeah, I can see some bird's eyes.
I would have never made a tool handle out of it that's going to get destroyed if it was decent bird's eye, but because it didn't have a lot of eyes in it. But yeah, right in here, they're probably the most prevalent.
Yeah, you can see them now.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you call that a Carter and Thompson tool or a Doug Carter tool?
This is a Doug Carter tool without any sun.
You should get a discount for both of them right now with your commercial right here. That's a pretty piece.
So,
hey, Todd, I think you should call it a Carson Son.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Carson and Son. Yeah. You guys have a good evening. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks now. All right. Let's go to Missouri. Let's see what Roger's got for us. Hey, Roger.
Second.
We got you.
Stuff on my... Okay. This is just a little plate that somehow my wife saw a ad on Facebook, and they had a bunch of plate or material that they wanted to sell. This is all the bigger it is. 170 some of these I bought.
Oh my.
goodness.
So I don't know what I'm going to do with 170,
Feed a lot of
Do a lot of
people.
glue ups. Do a lot of glue ups.
but it makes a nice little plate.
You could
And
make some whiskey stuff out of them. Ooh.
Look at that. There we
There
go.
it is. Beautiful.
Ooh, that's
Beautiful.
nice.
Somebody who has way too much time on their hands.
Wow.
That is just fantastic work.
How many segments you got in that?
I don't know. I didn't count them.
That's
beautiful.
Enough. Right.
How many,
Yeah,
how many
just the right
per
amount.
ring? I know you know that.
What are the woods?
It is a maple, walnut, and sapelli. And this is some sort of, I was told it was mahogany when it was given to me, but it's not a I don't know if it's an Asian mahogany but
Probably the African mahogany looks a
It,
lot
loo-
like
it
that.
looks, yeah, it looks like some African mahogany. I've got a lot of it.
I've got tons of it.
I've got to see. Here's the other one. It's the same wood, except for this one's got yellow heart in it and teak.
Beautiful.
And
Nice.
Yeah, just great stuff. Great stuff.
So
Very nice, Roger.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I think I heard Dean in the background.
How
I see
tall
he
is it?
survived his ladder.
what's that?
How tall is it?
12 and a half inches.
Ah,
Yeah.
That's pretty.
It's the right
Beautiful.
size.
Yeah, Roger,
Yeah.
that's really pretty.
Actually, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be, but I got lazy and I didn't cut the rings down. I just left them the 1 inch.
Now, did you do it the way you've been saying? You did it in 2 halves?
Yes. You'll
That's what you
see.
did?
You'll see in a few weeks.
It still came out really nice proportionally, Roger, despite the fact that you didn't cut those rings down.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. My
It
God.
is. No, that's really pretty.
I just have to figure out how to shorten my demo up a little bit. I got it down to 2 hours.
Well, I mean,
It's all right.
there's a lot to it, but
There is a lot to it.
once you understand, once a person understands it, it if you can get 2 hours, Matt, that'd be a good demo.
Yeah, it'll be a good demo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
that's gonna be a good one.
I wouldn't worry too much about trimming too much of it off, Roger, because
Right.
we always do
you've
it
got-
in 2 weeks.
there's a lot of detail in that, so
All right.
we'll figure it out. It'll be good. It'll make for a good program that night
Yep,
Yep.
for sure.
for sure. It'll give everybody something to look forward to. Roger will be coming on and in the upcoming,
The
one of
11th?
these Wednesdays
There you go.
upcoming. So, what is it, June 7th?
No,
11th,
that was
I
pretty
thought.
good.
June 11th. Okay. I'm trying to go off the top of my head and running all kinds of dates, scheduling stuff today. So, right on. I appreciate it. We look forward to it, Roger. Great work. All right. Let's
Alrighty.
go over to the Atlantic coast and see what's going on in North Carolina. Let's see. Patrick, we got you.
A lot of thunderstorms going on over here.
Uh-oh.
I got this cedar candy dish.
Nice.
Yeah,
That is
I
I
know.
cool.
started out just turning like a little dish, and it looked a little plain. So I said, well, I'm gonna turn a pedestal and a base and make it a pedestal candy dish.
Yeah, I like that. That's sweet.
Yeah, very nice.
And
Yeah, that looks neat.
did a
That
little
is some pretty
embellishing
wood.
with the
Yeah.
tube on the inside.
How many M&Ms will that hold?
Oh, cool.
Not quite enough. But it's about 8 inches across and about an inch and a half deep.
Yeah. I'd make a nice margarita glass for Sue.
No, it's too shallow, you guys.
Too shallow. Yeah.
And
I'm with Sue.
Yeah.
it's finished with
You won't hold enough.
it's finished with Renaissance wax.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
That'd
Oh, you
pair
did a
well
good
with
job on
Manhattan.
that.
That's
Make
a
a good
nice turn.
Manhattan glass.
That's a really nice turn.
I really like
you know
that
what?
embellishing on the
Maybe-
bottom.
Yeah.
You know what?
Thank
Maybe like a bird bath. Maybe make a couple little birds for the top of it.
A little short for a bird bath.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
a bird
Or a
bath,
hummingbird.
a bird bath for the mantle. A bird bath for the mantle.
Yeah, too funny.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's it for me.
All right, that'll work. Thanks,
Pretty
Patrick.
nice. Very
Thank you.
pretty.
All right, let's see who's up next. Let's see what the mad scientist has been doing. Hey, Jim.
Who is me?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Staying in North Carolina.
yeah, stay in North Carolina. I made anytime two spheres intersect, you get a round hole. So if you make the interior of these bowls spherical and overlap, it gives you a round hole
Hey, there we go.
if you do it
Cool.
right.
Hey,
Pretty cool.
that looks great.
Yeah, that is neat.
Self-leveling soup bowl.
Yeah, you got it. I was trying to figure out the use for this. It's got to be something like that. Yeah.
When you start filling it up, which side fills up first?
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of fun, and anybody can do that. So I didn't get this one done, but this is a 3-holder.
There's a 3-holder. Look at that. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
I still got the tenons on it and stuff. So
nice, Jim.
You're driving me nuts. I can't answer it. You said, did you hear the last thing you just said? Did you hear the last thing you said? Oh, anybody could do it. No, sir, not everybody could do it.
well, these are spheres. You have to draw this first because they got to overlap. If they don't overlap perfect and you don't get spherical, those holes won't be round.
Right.
I gotta sand this out yet. It's still got tenons on it and everything else. Hold on a second. I'll show it. I think I could show it on I'll do a share screen here.
Okay.
It's doing now.
Is the triangle coming next?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
I'm
waiting for the triangle or the square.
Where'd it go? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we see it.
Yes.
You got the 3 between centers.
Yeah, here's the 3 between centers. I haven't seen this myself yet, so I don't know what's going to happen here. Oh, wait a minute. And that's another 3 between centers. I can't believe this is laid over. Anyway, this is what it looks like when you're turning the tenons on the bottom. It's kind of like turning an airplane propeller or something.
Sure is.
You could get hurt bad. If I had a bigger lathe,
Like a whirling dervish.
if I had a bigger lathe, I could do better things. But
No way.
Rita said
Is
no.
that glue block on the headstock side? Is that a glue block on the headstock side? In the chuck?
No, it's better than that. This is a temporary tenon. I started using these. That's a block. That's a piece of plywood that's turned about 2 inches in diameter. Has a screw in it, number 12, probably about 1.5 inches. I just screw these on. It gives me a tenon anywhere I want to put it. I'm gonna use it in 3. In fact, I've already used it in 2 places to turn these 2, and now I've screwed it on to use this one. So you can.
So it's kind of a portable version of a screw block.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay.
Except
Jim showed it
except it's
3 weeks
screwed.
ago.
I
Screwed
could,
on.
I think I showed that, but anyway,
Yeah,
nobody,
I don't remember.
Yes,
weeks
you
ago.
did.
That was
Yeah,
3
you
weeks
did.
ago, Dane. I can't remember that far back.
they weren't paying attention. They know like.
I was
Yeah,
paying
yeah.
attention.
How big is the block of wood there, Jim? From tip to tip there.
4 inches in diameter and about 9.5 inches long. It has to be less. Yeah, 9.5 inches long.
Okay, so what I'm seeing right now is you're going step by step, because when you're done doing those tenants, you're going to go and put it back center and center again, aren't you?
But put it, no,
Right. And turn the spheres.
put it
Yeah,
on
yeah,
end.
because in order to get the shape. So you're going back and forth, what, twice each?
I use the temporary tenant first to turn the tenant on the back, and then I recheck it and drill the holes in the front. So that's and then from here I have to hollow it out. They're 1/4 inch thick, so if you hollow each one out 1/4 inch, you end up with this. I don't have any
1/8.
pictures. Fine.
Got a 1/8 inch
Flying around.
wall.
No, if these overlap about 5/16 of an inch. So when you cut the inside of this 1/4 of an inch, you're going to get a hole inside this one, an inch in diameter.
Right.
It's laid out, so it's got to be right on the button. You got
one of
Yeah,
it's got an eyeball open.
I'll tell you, that's really pretty, Jim. I know what you went through, and 3 of
What
them
you
is
got?
really,
You got.
that's really kicking it.
I got some more to
what's
do.
the size of these bowls? What's the size of these bowls, and what's the size of the bowls with the double?
Right in front of you on the table.
Okay, so those sizes. Now, where's your double at?
The what?
The double bowls, the one you just had prior.
They're the same thing. I use the same drawings. I just extended it.
That's where I was going with the story. So
This
put
is
them both next to each other.
Do you want the white one?
No, that's okay. Yeah, maybe it would. But I got one more.
Sure.
My assistant's getting it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Careful with that.
She couldn't hear that.
Okay. She'll catch it on the replay, Jim.
Yeah, I'm going to get hit with it.
You're going to have another flat spot on your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, Jim.
But there's no finish on it because it's raining outside and I can't spray it. But anyway.
What kind of wood?
These match. These are somebody else got them open, Mike, somewhere, I guess. Anyway, these match. They'll be a pair.
What kind of wood?
Maple. A big block of hard maple.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
I can't stop laughing.
So Jim, after you conquer the 3 in a row, are you going to go with a white wood and a dark wood and a white wood?
He promised me no mower.
He's not going to go for 6?
No. I got one more to do yet.
3 looks scary enough, let me tell you.
I got another
What if you did 3 side by side?
I'm going to try 3 in a triangle. 2, like if you had 2 like that and 1 like this, a triangle.
Yeah.
I think I can do that. I got it drawn up.
Incredible.
I can think faster than I can turn, which isn't hard, believe me. I'm a very slow turner. But anyway.
Right on.
Agree to make you update your life
Mad
insurance,
scientist.
Jim?
The what?
Mad scientist.
Yeah.
Agree to make you update your life insurance?
Yeah. But it was flying around pretty good.
Yeah.
But I got a pretty good tenant on there, so it's
Oh yeah, it's safe. It's safe.
yeah. It's also, if you notice, they put the tool rest up across it, so you don't have it. You have a chance. You could get your hand in there, but I'll tell you, when you have the tool rest across here and stay on this side of the tool rest, you got no problems. But if you got hit with that, you would remember it. You would remember that for a long time.
Yeah, you wouldn't get your hand in there more than once.
No.
Right. That's great.
That is incredible.
When I showed that double bowl a couple of weeks ago, I could see the smoke coming out of your ears.
Oh yeah.
I knew that was coming.
It was kind of on that order, Jerry. It was kind of in that order, yeah.
That was
Sure.
beautiful. Love it.
All right, thanks, Jim. All right, let's go back across the pond. Pete's got something else he'd like to show. You're muted. Oh no, you're muted.
Oh no, you're muted. As Reese was in, a few months back, he did a thing in wood turning. And I was inspired me to make this one. It's not showing up on there, but it does actually light up.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
So thank you, Rita. That was from your wood turning article.
Yes, it's very good.
She's
Outstanding. All right, thank you. Thanks again there, Pete. All right, let's North Alabama and what Mr. Hales has got.
Me. Okay. Well, this one was inspired by Roger. I did the base and the top are segmented. And well, don't know if you can see down inside it or not. I did that. Well, no, I did a little bit down inside. You might can see a little bit right there.
Yeah,
the wood.
Hold a little higher. Back towards you. There you go.
The stay, of course, you got segments on both ends out of maple, and then I did staves. And this wood was a pallet from Brazil about 25, 30 years ago that some marble was packed in for a building project over toward Huntsville. I have no earthly idea what it is. And I finally said, well, I'm going to do something with it. So I decided to do segmented stuff with it. The stripes are, I cut 1/4 inch walnut and 1/8 inch maple, and then ran it through the drum sander so it's slightly less. And then I inset a piece of black veneer between the vase and the bottom, and the top and the bottom. Staves are 7 inches long. It's 5.5 inches wide at the top, 3.5 on the base. And I've got 3 coats of tung oil finish on it and 2 more to go.
Very good.
That's
That
really
looks
nice,
very
Gary.
good.
That could be Hatoba, otherwise known as Brazilian cherry.
It could be, but it was a little bit lighter than what I've had some Jatoba, and this was it didn't weigh as much.
Huh.
It's pretty light. Of course, it's been drying for over 30 years, so
that
may have a lot to do
that
with
might
it.
do it.
Gary, is it red mahogany?
It may be one of the South American mahoganies. I'm not real sure, but
He rose up.
There you
There
go.
we go.
It is beautiful wood, whatever it is.
Yeah. And I
What,
didn't
what-
realize it because it's just been brown stuff stuck up in under the saw for all these years.
Somehow
And,
the combination makes it look very royal. I don't know why I say that, but it does.
Yep.
What angle are your staves cut at?
Okay, I cut the staves on my miter saw, and they were cut on 3.5 degrees. And
Okay.
22 and a half this way, and 3 degrees this way, 3.5 degrees this way.
Huh. I'm
That
gonna have to.
Compound stave.
There, hey, there you can see the inside bottom.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
you can see the inside really good. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Very nice.
That's just a pretty piece. It's simple,
Very.
simplistic, but very elegant. Yeah, and
Right.
like Dave was saying, it's got a royal aspect to it. Great
Well,
job.
that was my first shot at doing that type segmented stuff. Thank you, Roger, for inspiring me to do that.
Well, I'm glad you did it, Gary. It looks great.
And I'm gonna try some more.
Outstanding.
I'll get you
All
doing
right,
the
thank you,
open
sir.
segmented next.
Uh-oh.
Right. All right. Thank you, Gary. All right. Let's go up to Bill's in Quebec. Right? You're in Quebec, right, Bill?
Good evening. How are you folks this evening?
Doing good.
We're good. A friend of my wife's was having a maple tree taken down at the other end of the village, and she thought I might be interested in the firewood. So we made a deal. I would take the firewood, although the cost for it was I need to make 3 large platters for it. The tree was still green last fall, so I kept a section of the trunk and took it to a local sawmill and had it sawn in 3-inch slabs and put them away to dry over the winter. And I thought, well, we could go. I'll get a piece out and see whether it's workable yet. So I took the slab on the top. So this is a bowl that came out of that. I've never seen maple that looks like this. This was the bark side. So I had a flat surface here. I put a faceplate on it and turned away a ton of wood here to get this, put a tenon on here, and then hollowed out the center. When the center was done, I put it into a jam chuck and turned the tenon into a little foot. And so we have kind of a flying saucer bowl. I don't know.
I like it.
Very nice.
Very nice.
But it's a beautiful piece of the wood is spectacular. So I'm hoping that the other pieces that are in that will look somewhat the same. Anyway, we shall see.
What part of the tree was that from? How?
It's a piece of the trunk, maybe 4 feet off the ground. So the tree was 18 inches in diameter. So I kept a piece, so it's 18 inches in diameter, maybe 4 feet long. Took it to the sawmill and had them slice it. They weren't very happy about doing a small length like that, but I pointed out to them an 8-foot long, 18-inch. I can't lift, so this was the best. Yeah. Anyway, it's a pretty piece of wood.
Beautiful.
What's that finish?
Yeah, it
It's
sure is.
beautiful.
It's many coats of white pond poly.
Wipe on poly. Yep.
Yeah,
Bill's a poly man.
Yeah. Normally,
show the horizontal, the shape. Turn it horizontal. Yeah, like show that. Yeah, I like that shape.
Yeah. So it's got
it looks good.
That's pretty.
And it's about a 1/4 inch thick. The
Yep.
little thicker up here on the rim, but about a 1/4 inch.
Right.
It
Yeah, I
looks
like
like
it.
what we up here in Minnesota call soft maple. It's just a little bit than silver.
It was pretty hard to cut.
Yeah.
I have I'm working on some pieces I'll show you next week. It was made that's Swiss hazel. and you could turn that with sharpened butter knives. This was not like that. This was, although it might be soft maple, it was hard to cut.
It's just a little softer than hard, what we call hard maple, which is what they
Perhaps.
tap for syrup.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's it for this week.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you.
stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Thanks for sharing, Bill.
All right, then.
All right, let's go to Mr. Mark Soleil.
All right.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, sir.
Let me turn this camera around.
All right.
If we can get it turned around. Boom. All right, I'll just hold them up in front of me. Yeah,
There you go.
I'll put a white piece of paper up here so you can see it. Here's one of my 3-part vases.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty.
I use the ball-to-ball construction on the bottom, and I use overcap on the insert, and it's got a glass test tube in it. It's just, and there's no finish on the African blackwood. It's just got some EEE ultra shine on there, and the vase itself has one coat of 3408 and buffed with Vonex.
Nice.
Then-
Mark Fix 3408.
Yeah, it's real handy. Then I've got a few more of these little things I'll hold up. Let me get that white. There, let me get this thing tilted right.
Yeah, look at that finial. Mercy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow.
Right? African blackwood finial.
Yeah. No, that's Gaboon ebony. I use
Oh, is
Gaboon
it? Okay.
ebony on these. I like Gaboon ebony for finials much more
Okay.
than African blackwood.
There's
Anyway,
no finish on that either.
not on the. That's just got the little EEE ultra shine
Okay.
polished up, But I just try to take a little piece of wood and make it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's pretty.
here's another one I did. Just a little bit bigger. That's just a piece of spalted wood.
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
That's pretty, Mark.
Wow, very pretty.
Anyway, there's another little one I did this week. This one is box elder. My wife likes the ones with the box elder. They're, I don't know how to get this, the right angle. But
Very
anyway,
pretty. We can see it there.
but if you zoom in, you can see the little finials.
Oh, yeah.
Are
Beautiful.
Just great detail.
Pretty fun. And here's one more that I did. That's another. Get that camera. Wait a minute. I'm going across the lens here. There we go.
You got to get your thumb out of the way.
All right.
Hold it up higher. There
Yeah.
we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice.
The red just
That's beautiful.
And that's box elder too, right? Or
Yeah.
flame box elder. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a way to take your little tiny scraps and make some fun little art. And then they're non-functional. It's just good to look at.
Right. Something
But
to do,
anyway,
right?
I'm having fun, and it's been a real good therapy exercise for me recovering from this stroke. I'm trying to get better and better at my turning.
You are getting better and better.
Oh, I hope so. I'll tell you what, I'm having fun with them. They're easy to do, and you can go out there and work for an hour and a half or so and be done.
Yeah.
Mark, you're a better turner after having a stroke than I've ever been.
Yeah, you and me both.
Well, all you need is a 3/8 spindle gouge with a convex grind on the back, and you can do you can do all that. You can't do it with a skew, and you can't do it with a cave grind on it, because you can't rub the
Don't have
bevel
room.
at all times.
Yep. Great stuff.
All
No,
right.
it
All
is.
right.
That's all I
Let's.
got this week.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Beautiful
Thank
All
work.
right. Let's go see what Terry's got.
Oh, okay. I think I got it
Gotcha.
turned on. Well, I just wanted, Mark, if you didn't see it last week, this was the inspiration that I did off of his pieces from a few weeks ago.
Oh, good for you.
It's not near the
Look
quality
at
of
that.
Mark's, but it's
Great
not too
follow
bad.
up. Great follow up.
Good
So-
for you.
So I wanted to thank Mark for that inspiration. And this is the piece that inspired several people to try to do what Jim did, of course, a lot better than I ever do. That's what inspired it.
And,
So
and
well
a
done.
ton, and a ton better than I have done yet.
But last
But I'm-
week, I was talking to Joaquin, and I showed him a piece. I just texted it to him. And he says, well, you need to show that. And I said, yeah, I'll show it tonight. And he said, what do you mean tonight? Today's Thursday. That's why you didn't see me last week. That was a day off. But anyway, this is another 3-axis bowl that I
Nice.
did just out of a small stick. And it's done different than the other ones because it's just three axes, but all from the bottom.
Right.
And it's suspended. It's sitting on the wings, not on the bowls.
Right.
This is just a small piece of mesquite. This is quite a bit simpler than the other one. You don't have the layout. Jim won't like it because he's not technical enough, but
It's
it
great.
came out pretty
Too
nice.
funny.
It's
Too
great.
funny.
That's
That's a
And
good
then-
looking
That's
piece.
Very pretty.
And then
That's
this is
Terry,
some
that's
cool
nice.
pieces.
this is the same idea.
My God, yes.
See?
This is a piece of
Now
mesquite
look at
with the
that.
same way. This piece is about, I don't know, maybe 15 inches long and 7 wide. Got the 2 bowls, and it's the same idea.
Same
It's
That
kind
concept.
of like a gull wing. It sits on the wings, not on the bowls. It's
How
just-
fast
That's
were
a-
you able to turn that, Terry?
Say what?
How fast were you able to turn that?
Probably faster than I should have. I don't
Yeah.
know. I made him quite a while ago. You can't turn them too fast because you're
No,
going
I
to
was,
get
I, I was,
show off
I
balance.
was well under 400. I was well under 400.
Probably right between four and
I'm not
between
sure.
4 and
I was-
600 RPM on something like that.
Yeah, that's what I
No
was
way.
thinking.
Yeah.
That believe me, you're hearing a propeller like crazy, and you know
I
Sure
it's
are.
there.
I do quite a bit of big stuff, and I usually don't turn very fast on a big stuff. The little
Right.
stuff,
Well, you
I'm a
don't
little
need to.
braver, but I'm not a fast turner. I'm kind
I'm
of
not
slow.
a fast turner. I'm far from a fast
Well, I'm
turner,
kind
too.
of half fast.
Yeah. I hear you. I resemble that remark.
Yeah, but Terry, yeah,
Well,
that's a really nice project. Thank you very much. Thank you, Terry.
but
You know what's
we get a
great?
That
little
was always
inspiration off of it. They're fun projects.
Hey Terry, you know
Great.
what you can do with that? You can put M&Ms in one side, just plain M&Ms, and the other side M&M with nuts in them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right?
Yeah, that worked out well. Yeah, I don't know what I made that for. It's just something I tried. I probably saw it somewhere. I'm not a real artist. I'm more of a inspiration guy. I see somebody else doing something, and I try to figure out how they did it.
Right.
And,
Well, you
know,
inspired me.
I'm real mechanical oriented, not really an artist. So I spent my whole life building things.
I wouldn't. I disagree with that. You are an artist. Everything
Absolutely.
you make is fantastic, Terry, and you inspire so many people to do other stuff. From your project. I know with that double-sided bowl, it inspired me. I'm doing something way totally different than everybody else is. And, I've got it on the lathe and it's going to be funky looking thing. But, once I get it done, because I'm so slow myself. So
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Joaquin is also working on one. I haven't seen it, but I know he's working on one, and he usually don't get on till 8:15, 8:30. I guess
Right.
last week he didn't get on till 9, but we might see him later and see he might add some
Yeah.
to it.
Right. Okay, great. When I see him pop in, I'll put him on the list and swing to him soon. So great stuff. All right. Thank you, Terry. So with that, we're almost at the top of the hour. So that must mean Safety Sue is up. Hey, Sue. What do you got for us tonight? You're muted. You're muted. Sue.
Okay, gotcha. Actually, I want to talk about safety, of course, but we've all heard of all this. Sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other. And sometimes we say, oh, it just takes a second. And you're right, it just takes a second to get hurt. So, folks, I want to make sure that you're using sharp tools, that you're using your body instead of your hands in order to make your cuts and stuff. Please wear your eyeglasses, wear your face masks, and for heaven's sakes, wear your dust protection. That's the biggest thing out there, is your dust protection. If you're feeling fatigued, a lot of us don't think about it, but you need to take, say, a little break every hour, do some stretching exercises. How many of you are having carpal tunnel because of the way that you do your cuts? So, folks, be safe this week. Take care of yourselves. Take breaks when you can. And protect your lungs, your eyes, your face. Protect your hands. Don't wear gloves. So, folks, I'd love to see you next week and have a safe week this week. Take care now.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sue.
All right. Well, with that, we always follow up our safety briefing with a nice demo for the evening. And so we got Mr. Matt Harbor online for something that he's going to do tonight. I know what it is. It's going to be a great demo. Typical house cleaning. It's Matt's demo. Matt's going to turn the way he turns, how he feels safe, and what he likes to do in his shop. If anybody has any questions, we'll try to keep them to the end of the demo, unless Matt wants to sequester questions during his demo. Otherwise, I will monitor the chat for questions, and I'll ask him at opportune times when he's doing a tool changeover or moving his piece on the lathe when it's safe for him to answer the questions. So with that, I am going to mute everybody. Please, folks, don't unmute yourself to say something. Put it in the chat or unmute yourself if Matt's asking for questions during this demo. Matt, I'm muting everybody now. You'll need to unmute. And
all right, I've unmuted. Thank you, Dane. This is kind of last minute, and I hadn't done this before, but I'm going to make Lighthouse tonight because we've seen a number of them, and I've been wanting to make one, and I've never made one before. So let me switch over to this camera here. So this is the first one I did, natural edge, and I got some pretty even line. I was unhappy with how drilling on the lathe. They'll start with a square piece of stock and very precisely measure where they're drilling the holes with Forstner bits and so on. Well, I drilled on the lathe and it came out uneven, and I was unhappy with the results. So I decided to do them a little more like how Al's doing them, which is this piece here. So one of the things that I've learned with this piece is make sure you leave enough room so that you don't go through your holes. So, and I'll show you how all this is done. So one of the things that I want to show tonight is, but I am using a home view of that. Looks like this. It's just a piece of plexiglass with a piece of paper printed out from the internet on it with holes drilled in it precisely where I needed them to be. And it fits the same way that a normal indexing wheel would fit. And I've made this little deal here with a spring-loaded pin on it to go in the holes. And we have a whole video on how this is made and how this is used on our YouTube channel and on our website. So questions on that?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay, yeah. So, all right, I'm just going to chuck up this log here. Let's go back over here. Let's do it here. And I'm sorry, Dave, I'm apologizing ahead of time because I didn't have time to generate one of my nice snazzy little documents. So this is all just on the fly. All right. So how I'm going to make this, okay, is I'm going to make it in two parts. And I'm going to make a lid on this side, and I'm going to put a tenon on both sides, and I'm going to try to get the natural edge in it like this one is. Okay? Questions on this so far? You guys can jump in at any time. I'm used to people talking while I'm turning. So
okay.
By all means, ask at any point. So all right.
Folks, just be respectful when you want to jump in and ask a question and not talk over somebody that's already asking something.
All right. So I'm going to put a tenon on both ends, and then I'm going to go in the middle and make an area where I'm going to break it. Now, one of the things that I want to be able to do is I want to be able to hold these pieces by a tenon that I make here in the middle. So I'm going to be carefully sizing that tenon in the middle so that I can hold them and finish the ends too. So
Matt, what kind of wood are we starting with?
this is one poplar,
Piece of poplar, Don.
Yeah,
piece of poplar.
The tool I'm using here is just a straight up holding tool.
Your mic is coming in real low bandwidth, Matt.
I'm going to do on the tenons that come in with a screw, and make sure that this is flat and the corner is clear of any sort of debris of any kind. I'm just using it like a spacer and putting up the corners and down. Okay.
Matt, your microphone is coming in real low and mumbled.
I'm sorry, I know the batteries are good because I tested them. I'm having internet issues, so I don't know if that's relevant or not. We got scans moving in. Is that any better then?
Matt, your microphone, when you're talking, it's coming. You sound like Charlie Brown's teacher.
I hate it when that happens. Is this any better, Dane?
That's way better.
All I did was move it like a quarter inch closer to my mouth.
Huh, okay. Technology.
Almost biting it, so I don't know if that's relevant or not. I'm having internet connection issues tonight, so.
What speed are you turning at, Matt?
Well, it's going too slow, and now I'm turning at about 1,500 RPM.
Okay, about 1,500 RPMs.
I always advocate that people turn at whatever speed they're comfortable with. If it's stirring you, you're not having fun, turn the speed down.
Matt, what was the length of the log that you started with? About 10 inches?
I'm going to pull this off the lathe and just bandsaw it through the middle here, just so I can,
Okay.
it's quicker that way.
Hey, Matt, what's the length of the log?
I don't know, it's about 12 inches or so.
Yep, there we go.
You know, you can make these any size. So now this one here is this. So this is the bottom half. So this one here is, oops, this one here is much shorter. So they work. You just have to size them so that they're appropriate. So. All right. So now what I've got to do is I've got to make the cavity for the little light, and that's about 1.5 inches in diameter, less than an inch. So yeah, I'm going to clean the front of this up. We'll portion or bit it out. Down a little bit so y'all can see what I'm doing. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make some facing cuts across here just to make it smooth. Let the tool do the work, guys. Well, that's in there, right? Okay. Well, the wood is sopping wet, so that's probably a factor here. Portion or bit. So I'm going to use 2 different Forstner bits here. I'm going to use like a 3/4 inch one, and then I'm going to use or 1 inch, and then I'm going to use the 1.5 inch one. So it'll be done in 2 stages. And the reason why I'm doing it that way is because it's too big a bite for the first one, for the biggest one, to start off with the biggest one. So I generally don't Forstner bit anything over 400 RPM.
Oh, very good.
It burns them up, and then I have to go look at Eddie's video about how to sharpen your Forstner bit. I should probably turn the lathe off when I'm not doing anything with it.
Camera.
Let's go down here. So we'll do a test fit. So this is pretty basic stuff, so I'm assuming there's no questions.
Nah, no questions. You're covering the material properly. Your mic is still giving us fits though.
I think it's I know that my batteries are good because I tested them. I know that the signal's good. I'm having issues with Dane. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. You know, it's a demoitis.
For support.
We can't help it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to make sure, first of all, that this is round because I don't think it's round anymore. So this little tenon here is round. So because I'm going to use it as a guide. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit and then we'll start working on the rest of it. Parting tool. We're using it as a guide for when we drill the post for the I'm going to have those posts. They're 1/8-inch dowels, and they're going to be sitting in here like this. Okay, and I'm going to use this as the guide for where to do the drill. So I'm going to take some of the, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Sounds good.
So this is the shearing cut. I start the cut, and then I get one of these is why I like carrying wet wood, because it gets done. And here's what that looks like from top. You shear at a steep angle, and just shear cut it like a shear through the work. Which is loads of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only reason I really did that was to cut down on the vibration. Okay, so before I go, I use the indexing wheel. Put this up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, it's got a spring-loaded pin on the end here, and it goes into all these drilled holes here on the indexing wheel. The tailstock away, cross center, start indexing. So I don't know, we'll start in hole number 1, and there's 16 holes, big holes labeled on this all the way around. So I'm going to go every 4. So, and I'm use the as a line for where to draw. I'm in hole number 1. The next hole is number 5. And the next hole is number 9. 4 evenly spaced. And the next one is number 13. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use spring-loaded punch here. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to line it up with these holes here to get me a hole where the drill press where I'm going to drill. And then have our handy dandy drill. We have to get stuff out of the way. And I'm not going very far. I don't know if this is how you do yours, Al. But this is what I came up with. Okay. So I got my, I don't even know what I did with those dang things. There they are. So basically what's going to happen is they're just going to go in these holes like that. Okay.
All right.
So now we should be ready to go on this. That goes in there like that. The tea light. Port again. Is having tailstock support is useful. You can turn faster. Okay, now I'm going to clean up the top of this ever so slightly and this surface here, and then I'm going to begin shaping this. Now, what I want to do is I want to demarcate where I'm going to part this off, so I know where to start the rest of this functionality here, the curves and stuff in here. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to do that. Okay.
Sounds good.
Something to help me see better. There's my little cleanup. Here's my pencil mark. Okay. So now this is the outside rim there, and that's clean. So now I'm going to come back with the parting tool, and I'm going to leave myself extra room so I can undercut this a little bit. I don't care what people say, I love the way this looks now. It's got a wonderful smell to it. Okay, so that tells me that if I want to keep the natural edge on, then I've got to start everything else here, further up here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make more of these double riding splits, and I want to leave a little rim here so it comes down this way on the top. You know, so we're in test proof. This is how we do that.
Yeah, I think maybe Zoom is doing something with your mic when you're turning and talking.
It's evil and it's never just as it's funny.
Okay, and let's put the beating tool here and put in some grooves. This is a beating tool. This is a beating tool, and it looks, it's got a sort of a teardrop shape. This top area. Okay. And this is just picture hanging wire. And it's strung between two handles, and if you use one of these, first rule of thumb is if the lathe wants the wire, let the lathe have the wire. Let go of the handle. Your safety factor. This wood is so wet it doesn't burn you like. All right, I got some tool marks here I want to clean up. Questions so far on any of this?
No, nothing in chat.
All right, hopefully I haven't put everybody to sleep.
Not a chance.
I want this to be undercut. So if you see that, all you do is you angle your burning to a little bit this way. If you get do that, you get in there and you don't have the lathe grab the sewer, which we all know is a bad thing. All right, so I had a little bit of a catch there, so we're gonna trim that down a little bit here.
Just a little design change.
See if I can make a focus this. Got some fuzzies on the front here. I can't see them at this field. See if I can. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to finish going through it here.
So there's our bottom. Okay. And so we take our other piece of wood. And these are very simple, basic shear cuts and slicing cuts on the spindle. Sometimes it's a very good idea to revisit the basics on these. I don't remember which is which. That one is that. Okay. All right. So this is the side. This is the side here that is going to have the holes drilled in it and is going to be the bottom of the top, if that makes sense. So questions, concerns, comments. How do you do things differently? What would you do better?
No, there's nothing in the chat, Matt. You're doing an excellent job there.
Okay.
I got closed captions popped up now, so hopefully everybody can read the verbiage of what's being said. So.
All right. Now, I don't want to reduce this too much here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make, this is going to be the bottom of the inside. Come out of the chuck. This is very, very wet wood. It doesn't want to stay in the chuck. And it's wood. So again, I need to use this as the guide, and I'm going to use my indexing wheel again. And if this is dry wood, you could paint the inside gold if you wanted, or something like that. So when I roll the tool up like this, I now get a shear stroke. And as I roll it in like this, it becomes more of a shear cut, and I get a fairly clean cut when I do that. Whereas here it's a straight scrape, and here it's a shear scrape. Before I get too carried away with the tool. Okay. So we're going to follow the same procedure we get approximately on center. Use a pencil line, +4. 9. No math, just basic arithmetic. Okay, I'm done with that. Do the same thing I did before with the hole punch. This just sort of creates holes so the drill bit will, has a place to start and doesn't start wandering around on you. And part of the reason why you're doing this and using this as a guide, this little tenon or whatever it is as a guide, is so that you can get the holes in the right places so that they match up with the one on the other side on the bottom. Make sense?
Yes.
Say yes. Say yes. Good.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, no, the thing here, at the tenon at the end. So I'm going to clean up this tenon right now so it's ready to be mounted around in the chuck the other way. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit it with the skew. And then I'm going to come back with the little burg out and clean off my pencil marks. Maybe just this out a little bit. For that a little bit. So this is our top. So now we're going to begin shaping the top, and I'm going to do as much as I can here. And I'm going to switch live center so that I've got some support. Because now would be a heck of a time to throw something off the lathe when we're so close, right?
The prospect of doing so is very great. But you got this. You're good. You're good.
Are you saying I'm good at throwing things off the lathe, Dane? Is that what I heard you say?
No, I'm saying you're all good on what you're doing. No demoitis.
This camera. One more cut here. One fatal final cut, right?
No such thing as a final cut. Every cut should be a final cut, and you never have to worry about that last final cut.
I work on it, Dane. If I don't have to do any sanding while I'm doing this, I'm a happy man.
I hear you.
Right. Let's switch it around. Pull off all the debris that's hanging on everything here. Stick it under the lathe where it belongs. Let's get some more support going here.
Hey, Matt, we got a question.
Yes, sir.
Asking, would a version of dowel points work for the layout?
Sorry, the audio skipped out. Would you repeat that?
So we have a question that says, would a version of dowel points work for the layout? And I'm not sure what he means. Don, if you want to ask a question, pop in.
Let me, yeah, do it audibly because I can't. You know what? I'm going to switch over to Zoom here and see because I can't. Okay. Right. Would a version of dowel points work for the layout? Is that what he said? Is that the question?
Yes.
What's a dowel point?
Don, come on and ask your question. Guess we'll move on
PowerPoint is,
from it.
guys. Okay. Yep. All right. So is with this bunch of wood here is I'm going to put a little feature like this on the top of it. Okay. Or the dowel's bemused audio is not working. Okay. My dowels are I cut them to length and then I take them on the belt sander and sort of round them off a little bit. I don't know if that is an answer to the question or not. Switch back over here. And let me zoom in a little bit here. This is a detailed guide. This is a skinner guide. Going to reshape a little bit. Remember double writing, feeling cut. Do that a lot. Oh, that's interesting. All right, I'm having some an artifact here with the fragmenting. So we're gonna clean it up the old-fashioned way with the skew. Is with a with all the sandpaper, but who knows?
We can't see through your face shield.
Oh, thanks, Ruby.
Sorry, Ruby. That better?
Oh, that's much better.
So let me tell you a little bit about what happened here. So this is my face shield. I can't. All right. So at any rate, I'm done with this anyway. So let me take this off. Okay. Thank you, Ruby, for letting me know. Okay. So there's my top that's finished. There's my holes. So let's get my So there's my bottom. There's the little thing there. My little pegs going. And of course you would use glue, but and there you be.
Oh, very cool, Matt. Well done.
Questions, comments? How do you do it differently, Al?
Floor is open.
Comment is, Matt, that was a great demo and a great job. I really liked the way you did that.
That was. I mean, I'm very, that's very pretty. Very
And
pretty.
I wish my audio was working better.
No, hey, maybe there's something going on because all you guys that said that was happening with me earlier. I mean, so there's a storm somewhere.
There's some
Probably
storms in the middle of the country that are messing with stuff. So yeah.
We've got a storm here in Minnesota that really messed up.
No, that was nice. I didn't put mine together that way. I'll tell you like that. There's some glue there. There's holes on the bottom, but there's glue on the top. Yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, I know it's pretty. It's pretty.
Really nice.
Well, you've done a lot more than I have, Al. So anything, any input you've got.
Yeah, you've got real low bandwidth out there, Matt.
Something about it. It's been giving me issues all night.
Yeah. No, it was an excellent demo.
Hey, Matt.
That was an excellent demo.
Microsoft, my machine has been updating for like 3 days straight. Microsoft's latest update added a whole bunch of junk to that I've been killing regularly. So, an issue. So,
Hey, Matt. Matt, can you tell me what's on that end of your tailstock, that rubber piece?
this is not rubber. This is wood.
Okay.
And I've shown this before. The outside. So it just sits on my quill. That's what the big hole is for. That's where I keep it. Okay. And the inside diameter is tenon size, and the outside diameter is recess size. So if the outside fits in, then and so when I make a tenon on this side of the piece of wood, I'm eyeballing this inner ring here because that's my tenon size, my ideal tenon size. And it leaves a little bit of room for error. So if I go a little bit smaller than this, I'm okay.
Perfect.
But not too much. Yep. So, and then you guys, everybody's asked about that before. So,
right. Yeah, it's a slick tippling.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions, comments? No, it doesn't look like it, Matt. So I just want to say I appreciate you stepping in to do a demo tonight. You came up with a great project and interesting way on how to do things. The whole group appreciates you for that. So with that, we'll let Matt close down the shop there and get back up to the house and where he's got some good bandwidth.
One can hope.
Right?
Matt, thanks a lot, man.
Oh, you're very welcome, Al. This is a wired connection, so there should not be a bandwidth problem on this connection. So.
Oh wow,
Right,
wow.
Matt's-
Maybe it's all on us then.
It could be Zoom.
It could be Zoom. Who knows? But yeah, I'll see you guys in a minute. Thanks very much.
All right, sounds.
Matt,
All right,
thank you, sir. It's a good night. Thanks.
All right. Well, that was quite the demo we just had. Hope a lot of folks are inspired to do lighthouses between what Matt's doing and what Al's doing, and of course the lighthouse master, Rita Duxbury, inspiring millions and millions of people to do lighthouses. So, speaking of which, lighthouses, I got a feeling lighthouses are going to be done up at Level Up also by Rita. So we're going to be in for quite the treat up there. Whoever signs up to learn how to do it Rita's way. So be looking forward to that. So with that, let's go back to gallery. If anybody has anything they'd like to show, let us know in the chat. I'll put you down on the list and come to you in that order. So with that, let's go to Lonnie. He's got something to show for us. Hey, Lonnie.
There, I think I'm muted. I got a couple pieces. I've been trying to do a little bit of embellishing on some stuff. This is a large walnut bowl. It's about 14 by 5, and let's see if I can get this. I did some engraving on the rim, and I just did that with a micromotor. And then
That's
I
nice.
used,
That looks great.
I used the chroma gilt to kind of put a bronze finish on it.
Hey, can I ask you, how fast were you spinning to get that texture?
I wasn't spinning. I did that by hand. I did that with the lathe off, and I just carved it in with a micromotor randomly.
I didn't know. I thought a micromotor or something else. I'm sorry.
No. And then I took a maple calabash bowl and I've enhanced it with some leather stitching.
Oh,
that's cool.
Wow.
It turned out okay.
So how'd you lay it out for your holes for the leather?
With an indexing jig.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so there's 48 holes, 48 spacings. And when I did the leather, it's just 1/4-inch leather lace I get from Hobby Lobby. And I wet the leather as I'm lacing it up. I just wet it with a paper towel about 6-8 inches at a time. And I pull it pretty taut. And then as that dries, that leather shrinks just a little bit. And so my leather is really tight when it dries.
Secure it? How do you secure it?
At the very end, I snip them and I super glue them in the ends, both on the inside and the outside, just a short piece.
Okay.
Wow. You can't even tell. It's beautiful.
I know, it looks like one continued piece.
The end, so that's all I got. Just a little enhancement, trying to get away from round and brown.
Right. Yeah, it's a fantastic piece.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Sandy's got.
Oh,
hey, Sandy.
Hi, guys. Hi. I actually got back in the shop, so this is good. It's not quite finished. I got one coat of finish on it. That's about it. But it's from the Madrone. I think I talked about this Madrone I boiled in 2018. So I figured it was time to start turning, and I showed the piece the last time I was on with the painting, the iridescent paint. But this one is just raw, round and brown, except for it had a pretty good sized crack that kind of went around the back. So I decided to fill it with some turquoise. So
yeah,
It looks
I was
great.
I was very, very happy with the shape, and it's got a good thickness, nice and thin, and so a little logo on there.
Nice. How'd you
So
do your
that's what I
turquoise,
finally
Sandy?
got done. Pardon?
Sandy, how'd you do the turquoise?
Oh, I put the metal tape that you use on pipes on the back,
Yep.
and then I kind of tilted it and made a dam around here with hot glue. And I just kind of poured a little bit in at a time with a dropper until I got it where I wanted it, and sanded it down on the lathe.
So you used
was
resin plus turquoise resin.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I'm having a hard time. Did I use what?
Did you use resin?
It's kind of a
and
liquid.
turquoise?
Yeah, it's actually was with the epoxy, and then I put the color, the turquoise color in the epoxy and mixed it up. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Right on. Beautiful piece. It's
Yeah,
nice
it
touch.
wasn't hard, but yeah, but this was a tell you a labor of love with that madrone. I told the story before about how I boiled it on my husband's brand new grill that the kids got him. And I just about destroyed it because you have to boil it like, what is it, an hour, 2 hours an inch or something like that. I didn't know splattering all over the grill was going to be a permanent part of the grill, but it was. You know, he was very good about it though. He didn't get upset. I said, don't let the kids see it. Just cover it over when they come.
Still works for burgers and dogs, right?
Yeah, exactly. It didn't change the way it cooked. And
Right.
I've never been prayed so hard for a grill to blow up. Like, can this thing not break down and I get you a new one before the kids see what I did to it? I don't think they ever noticed though. So, but anyway, it's a good size bowl. It's about 11 inches and about 3.5 tall.
Yeah.
So
that'll hold a couple bags of M&Ms.
yeah, that's all I got.
All right, thank you, Sandy. And then, real quick, without saying anything, have you been able to follow up on the text messaging that we were doing?
I can't. I'm really having a difficult time. Can you text me or put it in? Because I'm getting like half of a
Dane, you
word.
got a real bad echo.
I do.
Maybe it's
Yes, sir.
Everybody's got a bad echo.
I don't know. Maybe it's me. Let me look. Let me see.
Not you, Sandy.
Sandy, what's that thing behind you on the shelf?
What is it? It's my what?
What's that thing behind you on the shelf?
I don't know. I just can. I was hearing everybody. I was even hearing Matt pretty good, but now I'm hearing.
I think the issue
everything.
is you have a speaker that's broadcasting the sound, and so that's what's creating the echo. When you mute yourself, Sandy, the echo probably disappears.
You want me to go back and then come back in?
No.
I
think when you're muted, this problem will disappear.
Okay, let me see.
How about now?
Now there's no echo.
Yeah, it was her speaker.
Okay. Now, is anybody hearing an echo on me?
Nope.
No.
You're good.
Okay. So I think you have an auxiliary speaker, Sandy, on your side.
Jim asked what that thing was on the shelf behind you.
Hey, how come you heard that?
So it was Sandy all the time, all night.
Sandy, what's that wooden thing behind your head? On the
Behind my head?
Behind you.
Yeah.
What's that wooden whatever?
Look behind you, Sandy.
Just pull the blind.
I quit.
Behind your lamp, behind you.
On the shelf behind your head.
On the wall.
On this behind your head on the shelf or on the wall.
Can't she see me? Yes.
Yeah. You're muted. We can't hear you.
You're muted, Sandy. We couldn't hear you. We can't hear you, Sandy.
She's got a double mic or an auxiliary speaker, and it's creating an echo. But it's all good. Sandy, put it in the chat what that thing is. Just write it into the chat so we know what that thing is over your head on the wall. All right, folks. Sometimes we just have to deal with stuff. It's all good.
Ain't nothing but a thing.
We adjust on the fly. We'll give Sandy a few minutes to type in what it is. Sandy's using the chicken method of hunt and peck to type it in.
Hey, don't make fun of that method. I use it every day.
Hey, now I don't pick on you about that, Gary. But we could start. So what that is a hoop that she uses for hand quilting. It's in her studio, not in the shop. So it's a quilting hoop. So can Sandy, can you take the camera and show it so we can see the full view of it? Yes. There we go. Yeah. Oh no. Don't drop it.
Wow.
Nice. All right, so Sandy, we're gonna accept the echo. So unmute yourself and talk to us about it. And everybody else, just listen to Sandy, please. Unmute yourself and talk to us about it. Sandy, unmute yourself. Yeah, it's all good. It's okay. It's all good. That's a beautiful piece, though. Next week we'll ask you about it when you're on, and hopefully we'll have the mic and speaker thing figured out. So it's all good. All right. So with that, let's go to Birdhouse Bob. Oh, we got Sandy now. Sandy, go ahead and describe the quilting hoop, and we'll all be quiet while we listen to you explain it.
Okay, I can you put it into chat? I don't know what I'm trying. It's all breaking up. I'm gonna try. Maybe if I went out and came back in, it would be better.
Well, right now you're not. We are.
Right now you're fine. Right now you're fine.
Yep, just talk. Just tell us about it, Sandy, and we'll be good.
Go ahead.
Hey, guys.
She can't hear us, is what her problem is. And we're hearing two of her. So
Right.
So confused.
That's kind of wild that it's happening to almost everybody that's talking tonight.
Well, she has 2 items turned on some way.
Yeah.
She may be streaming it through her TV also and her computer.
Yeah, they're talking about me trying to get me to work. So do you think if I don't know what to get rid of. You can walk over here. It's okay.
Sandy, can you hear us? Sandy, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, Matt, pretty good.
All
George,
right, so
my
we
husband
can-
came
we
up
can-
and I'm
we
gonna
can-
try.
Don't change anything. Just talk about the hoop because you're coming through just fine. But right
Oh,
now, just talk about the
okay.
hoop.
Okay, the hoop is for portable quilting. It's for hand quilting on quilts, and you sit it on your lap, and it's like it's a flat, it rotates, it has a ball, a sphere. You put your quilt over there, put a clamp on the top of it, which is what this does. It clamps around the whole thing. And then you can turn it every which way you want to do your hand quilting in the pattern you want. While you're sitting on the lap, and it holds the weight off of you. So you're not sitting there holding a 10-pound quilt or a 5-pound quilt, whatever it is. Does that
Very
make
cool.
sense?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Very cool.
Okay.
Very cool.
But there's many different kinds, and I have about 3 or 4 up there. That's why it looked kind of all mismatched.
Okay.
There's some for bigger pieces and smaller pieces.
Can you show them again? Can you show them again?
Now you were great, and now you are gone again. You're all broken up. I'm going to try unplugging the tablet and see what happens.
No, we can see and hear you fine. Can you show them again everything that you showed that you pulled off the shelf? Can you show it again?
Okay, how's that?
That's
Yes.
good.
It just went away.
Yeah,
That
it
worked.
went away.
Yay.
That
Cool.
didn't work, obviously.
Ta-da!
No, it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Can you hear me
You're
now?
good.
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hear us.
Okay, I unplugged it and plugged it back in.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
Hey,
I don't know.
technology. So
Okay, start from the
what
top.
Al was asking is could you show the individual pieces again and explain it again, please?
Okay, sure.
Because it's a really neat looking item. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm sure there's
Yeah.
a lot of others haven't.
Right, and it's kind of an interesting way it's made. Obviously I didn't make it, I purchased it. But this is.
Okay, that was going to be my next question is if
No,
you
I
made
did
it.
not.
Okay.
No. This is purchased, and this is the way it's made. This is the base right here that sits on my lap when I use it. And here is a piece that I can move it this way, depending on how I unscrew this right here. And there's a ball right here that allows it to pivot any direction I want to go. And so then this and this and this is just the base. And now I'm just sitting with the base. So I put this on my lap like so. And I take a piece of fabric. Can you hand me a piece of fabric over there, George? My husband's up here now. He was trying to help me get it to work.
Your assistant.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, that's true. He is out there
Right.
doing a lot of stuff for me. So this is obviously not a quilt, but this is just a piece of fabric that I have. And so I put this like so over here. And you remember now I'm going to have 3 layers. I'm going to have a front, a batting in the middle, and then a top. And so then I take the top part, which is this part right here that you couldn't see, and you put that over top of here, and you pull it nice and taut, and then you just move these little rollers right here, and it
My
continues.
grandmother did that.
Pardon?
My grandmother did that. I remember her. That was the way she did all the sewing.
Yeah. So anyway, you just tighten it all up, pull it taut. And
Oh
then
my
sew your
God, I
body.
remember that.
Right. A lot of people still do hand quilting versus machine quilting. Just to be like a purist, I guess you want to say it, but you can put patterns in that's a lot easier. More time consuming, but a lot easier if you do it by hand. But not too many people do it anymore because our lives get too short. We don't have a lot of.
I have messages that she sewed.
Oh.
I mean, oh my God, you just brought back so many memories.
I have some in there that my grandmother did, who taught me to quilt when I was 13.
I'm talking about my grandmother too. I'll tell you. Wow.
Yeah, it took me almost 2 years to finish my first quilt because everything had to be hand done. And I still have.
I have prayers. She would write actually words, and she would type a prayer, and it was all stitched, just the way you just did it, having the material stretched out.
Yeah, the guy that came up with this
such a long time.
Yeah, the guy that came up with this one was kind of he made it very easy to use and very easy to operate, so to speak. And then we had different bars to where we can make it taller, bigger, things like that you could buy and work with. But I haven't quilted in a long time since I took up woodworking.
Ah.
I don't blame you, Sandy.
Pardon?
I said I don't blame you.
Yeah, one's enough. One's more time consuming. But I could pull out even bags that I quilted and made patchwork. And you guys I'll show you one thing and then I'll stop because Matt demoed a lighthouse tonight. My brother, who lived on the East Coast, lived in a place called Queen's Landing, and you identified it by a lighthouse that was there. So for his 50th birthday, I made him a lap robe with a lighthouse. I'll show it to you. It's right here. Okay, I hope I can get this back far enough so you can see.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So these.
Wow.
Really pretty. I love that. Wow.
And then
that's gorgeous. Great job.
Yeah, and then it's repeated. I don't know how many times, but even the back fabric, it's not very big. It's just for your lap. I also got lighthouse fabric. Back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, when he passed away, I got it back. And I think I made 3, 6, just 9 blocks. So it's not a huge quilt, but it was on back of a sofa forever. So there you go. That's my lighthouse.
Nice. That is sweet.
But that's what that is.
Very
How
nice.
about that? Wood turning meets quilting.
And I taught a gentleman down south many years ago how to quilt because he wanted to make a quilt. And we went to the sewing room and I probably spent 3 or 4 months with him and he finished his quilt. And he said the same thing, that quilting is a lot like woodworking. Math's very important because you have to get the pieces to match correctly and the same size in order to go together. And it's the same with quilting. And you have to measure everything to fit the size that you need. And I said, well, that's kind of true. Yeah. So he saw a lot of similarities.
True that.
That's my lighthouse, Matt, though.
I like it.
Very nice. Hey, it's all about the lighthouses, apparently. So
it is.
Very cool.
It really is.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Sandy. All right,
You're
let's
welcome.
go. Let's go back.
Sorry
go
about
back to
this.
North Carolina.
This is getting to be kind of a scary night.
Hey,
all about the lighthouse.
Birdhouse Bob.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good. Good to see you.
Spalted maple bowl.
Oh,
and,
wow.
It had this ugly knot in the side of it, and the knot came out. So I thought, well, I've got to turn lemons into lemonade. So I made a yarn bowl out of it.
There you go.
That's where the knot was.
Beautiful. Love it.
Very good. Very good recovery.
Nice job.
Thank you. That's what I've got.
How's the bird gonna go in there? Where's he gonna
Bird
live?
flies in through this hole.
Through the hole there? Okay. All right. All right.
All right. Wings go up through here.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So he's on like a nighthawk.
Yeah.
Nightingale. There we go. All right. He's gonna swoop
And
in.
if you turn it upside down, then he's got a roof over his head.
That's right.
Yes, there you go, Matt. There you go. Right. Very good, Bob.
Thank you.
Beautiful piece of wood, Bob.
Thank you.
Let's see. Mark has already disappeared. Oh no. All right. Well, folks, we've got open gallery.
Hey, Dane, I just popped on late. If there's room, I've got a blank to show, not a bowl yet.
Yes, sir. We got plenty of time for you, Doug. Let me highlight you.
So
What you got, brother?
this blank turned out so cool. Now I'm scared to turn it.
Oh no!
But it's a resin hybrid, and I don't know that I'm gonna get the light to show what I can see here in my shop. But I've got 3 different colors in there. It was a blue green, and a red. And they came out with some just really cool.
Oh, that's nice.
And the wood, I'm probably gonna hate myself for this when I start it, but the wood is ironwood. And this is one of the pieces I showed at one of the after hours things, and we were talking and trying to figure out what we were gonna do with it. So I've got the other half that I chopped up to put in there. So
okay,
there's what the inside did look like when I cut it.
Nice. Yeah, good and solid. It'll turn fine for you. Just high speed, sharp tool.
Yeah, what the issue I'm expecting to run into, and I didn't think about it till after I was pouring the resin. I went, wait a minute, this is not a good combination. Soft resin, stupid hard wood. It's gonna make for some little bit of probably going on, but
make sure you're holding it securely, buddy.
Yeah.
Tool control is key.
Yeah. Yeah. No glue block for that.
Anyways, that's what I'm gonna take on here shortly.
Nice.
Probably a carbide tool would be best.
Oh, for sure. I'm a big fan of the carbide tools for the resin, especially the negative rate carbide. But then, like I said, I'm also got the ironwood mixed in, and of course this is proud. It's above the resin just because it was above the mold. So I'll use my regular, bowl gouge to get it down. But once I hit the resin part, then that's where you're gonna have 2 different hardnesses spinning together.
Could you use a sawzall or something to take those tips off before you start turning?
Say again.
Could you use a sawzall or something to take the tips off there before you start turning without going?
The easiest way to do it would be just to pull the lunchbox planer out and stick it through. But I like off-roading, and I like putting crazy things on there and using the bowl gouge and going through it. So it's my cheap thrills.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I got. Just my crazy blank. So here's what it looks like beforehand. We'll see you next week.
All right, sounds good.
Like your
It'll be a nice turn.
Thanks. Yeah, I've got my logo on there.
There you go.
Crazy man. The professor. All right, thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, let's go. Let's see what Steve's got. Hey, Steve.
Hello. How you doing?
Doing good. Good to see you.
I have a couple of platters to show. This might be washed out. This is area. Maybe this way here. It's figured maple.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's pretty.
Beautiful.
This is for
early maple.
Yeah. It's got a lot of chatoyance in it. It's really pretty.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, gorgeous piece. Way to bring out that grain.
Yeah, it turned out pretty nice. So it's about 12.5 inches in diameter and maybe about an inch thick. And then I have some embellishment on the bottom.
Oh,
nice.
Okay, so this is for like a cake dish. So I got a recess here. So I made this is out of elm. There's some embellishment on the bottom.
Nice.
A bowl, a little couple beads on the side. So you can use it as a bowl or you can turn it upside down and use it as a platter.
Oh, cool.
Like that.
That's neat.
And then I got a cake dish cover for the top of it. So got this at Target online. It was only like $12. It was a pretty good deal, I thought.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's got a plastic tray on the bottom, and it's it's a pretty substantial piece of plastic.
Yeah, about a 2-layer cake, huh?
Yeah, good enough for me.
Right? I don't know what anybody else is going to eat.
So my niece is she graduated from culinary school, so she's always baking me goodies. So I also made another platter. This one's about 19 inches.
Wow. Oh, that's cool.
And this is poplar.
Oh
No
my God.
kidding.
Very
Wow.
nice.
And again,
Beautiful.
got some decoration on the bottom.
Right?
Wow.
Hey, you've gotten so good at the spiraling tool.
Now, I really like it. I think it really enhances.
Yeah.
It's like I think I have some on the outside.
Yep. There you go.
I like that ring of spiraling that you put 3/4 of the way up the outside.
Yeah. On the bottom?
Yeah, like right there by your fingers.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
I
up by
love
the
that part
rim.
right there.
Yeah, right here. Finger grip.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then framing it with the beads. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Such a big piece of wood that it really needed something in here besides just a lot of open space.
Yes. Right. Yeah. It really makes it.
Got a big foot. And just like the other cake dish, I made another bowl out of another piece of poplar. Again, I got some embellishment on the bottom.
Love it all. Wow.
Reset. Throw the nail like that.
Yeah.
And then we go.
Wow.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
So if you have a large
yeah.
table, I think
Oh, that's cool.
fit on there nice.
Yeah.
That's cool how you did that. So you can take it, you can put the ice cream in the bowl, put a big giant cake right there, and you're set for the day, right?
I think this would do me okay for ice cream, right?
Yeah, I think I would do me as well.
Yeah.
You have to go back for seconds with it, but it's all right.
Good
This took me back to Farrell's.
That sounds like someone from Texas talking, right? Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful stuff, Steve. Beautiful stuff.
All right, great stuff. Well, if I missed anybody, wasn't on purpose. So if you got something to show, let me know and we'll come to you. Otherwise, we got about 40 minutes before the program ends. We can talk or discuss about any issues that you may have come across last week in wood turning, and somebody within the 49 folks here will be able to figure out what you need to do it right. Tom, you got anything?
I do with 170 of these little flat discs.
Coasters, dude.
Coasters, or you make those whiskey thing.
Yeah, the whiskey
whiskey covers, yeah.
Share
Whiskey
jar
caps.
lids. Share jar lids.
Yeah,
You can
just
them-
glue them all
Make them
together.
fit over the rings for mason jars. Decorated however you want. It's $12, $15, and people love them.
Yep.
Takes about
'Cause
10
everybody has
minutes each to turn.
Everybody has
Okay.
mason jars on their counters.
This is Missouri. They're
Well,
everywhere.
no, I don't. I got a couple mason jars in the cabinet, but not for anything else other than drinks.
I keep my coffee beans in a mason jar.
Okay. But those
Yeah,
little-
those. If you don't have a duck's chuck already, make one. They're very quick, and then you can do off-center like coasters and stuff. You know, do the rings
do
like
have a
something
duck's
like
chuck, so.
What was that?
I said I do have a duck's chuck, so.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you could employ the Dux Chuck and start getting creative with a bunch of concentric rings that overlap and stuff. Those are perfect for it. If you had a joiner jig too, is the same kind of any off-center chuck. Those pieces are perfect for something like that.
Oh, and then you could marry 3 or 4 of them into a wall hanging.
There you go.
Sure.
Or a mobile.
Or turn them down, into medallions or pendants.
Or
Also
a
using
really
the Dutch chuck.
What's the name of the thing you put a hot pot on? A trivet. You could make trivets.
Yeah, trivet.
Yep.
Hey, Dana,
Or you could just make plates for a big party.
What was that? Say it
I
again.
was sent
I
a
said,
message in
you
the
could just
chat
make a
about
lot of
what
plates
kind
for a big
resin-
party.
Yeah, sure.
Or make
got
make
the
small
double
ones
echo
for
going.
a tea party.
That's true too.
Doug, what were you saying?
Somebody had sent me a message in the chat about what kind of resin I was using. I replied, but I have it here. If you want me to show it, I can.
Yeah,
cool.
sure. I got you up on the big screen.
Okay. So there's a gazillion different brands of resin out there, and they're definitely some are better than others. This one I find to be the best bang for my buck as far as how much resin I get for how much money I pay for it. And it's called Dr. Crafty. Is that coming across?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because it's backwards to me. And then with that particular blank, the micro powders I used is called Small Tongue Mica Powder.
Yeah, it's not coming through too good.
That one's okay. Anyway, Small Tongue Mica Powder, and they're both off Amazon. And then for that particular one, this was a set of 3 molds I got off Amazon. This is the largest one. And then it comes with 2 smaller ones in there. And of course, anybody that's ever messed around with resin knows silicone's the best mold.
Silicone. Yeah,
Pop
silicone.
right out. And then I grabbed this just to show. So this is just a regular baker's silicone mold for little gingerbread guys. And I find these at the thrift stores all the time, and I grab them, I just throw them in the drawer. And I'll use them for like tops on bowls and things like that. Let's say I make a cookie jar, and then I just pour a little resin,
neat.
gingerbread guy, and then just put it on top of the cookie jar. Different things like that. But the bakers have tons of different silicone molds, and they work great in the resin shop.
Good.
Maybe that come across better. That's the mica powders.
Yes. Yep, there you go. 36 colors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that comes off Amazon?
Yeah, I got those all off Amazon.
How much was it?
Oh God, I've had the mica powders and the resin forever, so I don't know. This mold I just bought recently though. And like I said, it was a set of 3, and I want to say like $15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Amazon is showing it for 20.
Maybe it was 20. But then you know how like on Amazon you find it and then you scroll down below and you'll find the same thing at different prices.
Right.
I had
different vendor.
Yeah, this one is 36 colors. I don't know how many you had, Doug. I don't remember.
Oh, this one is 36.
Okay, so it's the same product, I think, and it's $20 on Amazon.
Okay, and like this I've had forever, so I really don't remember what I paid for it.
There's a blurb next to it that says prices have changed often over the last 3 months. So who knows what's going on? So everything went up for the last 4 or 5 years. So
yeah.
And for your resin, is that a 1-for-1 resin or a two to 1?
Is a 2-to-1 by weight.
By weight, not volume.
Yeah. So if you're new to playing with resin, definitely pay attention to those instructions, because a 2-to-1 or a 1-to-1 by volume versus weight is not the same thing.
Right.
And the scales, what I did when my wife wasn't paying attention, I grabbed the one out of the kitchen that she uses when she's food prepping.
I did that too. Then I had to buy another one.
Because you spilled resin on it? Yeah.
Yes.
So, but now it's permanently mine. She got the new one in the kitchen.
I get the old one with resin. But,
Right.
but yeah, they're pretty cheap. Here, I'll grab mine. It's right here. But yeah, and you just, they'll have different ones out there, and I just set mine to ounces, and then, just weigh it out 2-to-1 or 1-to-1, whatever happens, whatever kind of resin you're using. And like a lot of things, you get what you pay for. I have used the Alumilite products, and till this day, I will swear they are the best product on the market. But they're very proud of their product, and I don't like paying
Yes,
their price.
they are.
So,
Right.
but they are a great product. I'm not going to knock them at all, but I can get dang near twice as much resin in this brand, and just make sure my tools are a little sharper, and just know I'm going to get a little bit more chip out when I'm doing it.
Yep. We used aluminite products on Aegis missiles and rocket launch and Patriots and THAAD and David Sling, Rado. It's a very, very good product. Yes, they are very proud of themselves.
Yeah.
But it's a very solid, stable resin.
It really, really is. And when you turn it, man, it turns so nice. And I mean, you always want sharp tools, but I can turn Alumilite pretty well with a standard high-speed steel tool. Whereas with this stuff, you want the carbide cutter.
Yeah, it's rock hard, chippy.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, very cool. Thanks, Doug.
Hey, you bet.
All right, let's go back to Alabama and see what Mr. Roll Tide's got. Hey, Howard.
Hey. How's it going? Good demo there.
Doing good.
Good demo.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Matt did an excellent job.
Matt. I couldn't think of Matt's name, but it is Matt, right?
No, it's whatever you want, Howard.
Uh-oh, you said the wrong thing then. But anyway, show you this.
Oh my goodness.
Conglomeration.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
That's the bottom there.
Oh my God.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Glad I showed my piece before you showed yours.
Holy moly.
This is trash here, but anyway.
No, it's not.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
But this
Send
is
that trash to me, Howard.
the bottom part.
Oh, that's nice.
The bottom part is two by 12 pieces of hard maple, and I turn two bows and then I glue them together so it's hollow, right?
Yeah.
And then I glue up some white oak for this, 4 pieces of white oak. Well, I'm sorry, 4 pieces of white oak, and open this up, and then inserted this into that with a tenon, mortise and tenon outfit. And the pyrography is stippling with just a low 1.5 millimeter burning tip, and the color is India ink.
Wow.
So anyway, it's 12 inches diameter and it's 12 inches tall. So
I was wondering why I haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Right?
Yeah, I've been held up in a cave.
After myself.
Yeah, I've been holed up in a cave on that. But anyway,
So does that have a home already?
not yet. Well, my wife, she's gonna keep it.
Yeah.
So it'll probably stay here all the time. Yes.
So that's in 3 pieces, Howard?
Bottom part is 2 2-inch thick hard maple.
Right.
That I turn each of those pieces I turn into a bow, and then I put them together top to top and it's glued together.
Right.
I don't know if you can tell exactly where. I camouflage it pretty good.
Yes, you did.
And then this is 4 pieces of 2 by white oak that I glued together and turn all the way through. And I open up the bottom of one of the bows to make this hole, and so that this could be inserted in it. Does that make sense or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
And
Man,
you drew
that's
the
pretty.
design on your own, Howard? Your
Right.
design-
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
design is amazing. I love it. The colors are good. This is really
Yeah,
sweet.
I really struggle. I kept asking my wife, what flowers do you have red inside of yellow or yellow inside of red? So I flipped a coin and it was red inside yellow. So
Well, that works.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, yeah, of course. You always want to have a solid color
Man.
first. Right.
yeah, darker color in middle and then lighter, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
working out.
perfect.
Yeah. And I don't know how many little leaves there are on here, but it's a bunch of them. But this was about the hardest part right here, getting that right. Of course, the bottom was pretty tough too.
Oh, look at that. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Wow.
So anyway,
Don't take that to over Dewey's place that they only give you $300.
oh really? Oh, that much? God.
Don't take it over there to Dewey's place that he knows about. My
Now,
God.
who's Dooley?
Dewey Johnson.
Oh no,
Dewey
I
Johnson.
thought you were
Oh,
on the
Dewey
joke.
Johnson.
Yeah,
over
you weren't
over
on
in
the joke.
Texas.
We have a joke going on with him. He's no, I'm sorry.
Hey, this don't even compare to what Dooley can do. Man, he does awesome work.
Yeah, he does. He's pretty good.
He does awesome work. You know.
No, it's a goofy. It's just a goofy joke.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a really good joke.
I resemble that remark.
There you go.
No, it's a beautiful remark.
So let me, the little leaves, did you kind of draw them with an outside pencil and then do your stippling around each one?
Yeah, I had cut these out to make sure they're all the same, and then but I had to lay it out with lines. I had to, your what am I thinking of anyway? But anyway, it's all laid out and then laid out this way because I wanted to get all these flowers exactly, same. There's 6 of them, and then there's 6 on the bottom, 6, on the sides.
Yeah, gorgeous. Just gorgeous, Howard.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you. But anyway, I penciled it all out and then commence. Well, I did the flowers first, and then I connected them all with the vines with the leaves so that they would fit. And the more leaves I have, would be less burning to do. So
well, that's true.
So that's why I put so many leaves on there. I try to poke them in everywhere I could. So
it's amazing to me how perfect those little leaves are, and you were burning around them like a stipple burn, and it's just incredible. They came out amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's you start doing them, and after a while, they all get to be the same. Muscle memory of doing it,
Yeah.
And which kind of surprised me.
You know what though? You know what though? I mean, it's great, and it's friggin' gorgeous. But you know what? Your turning piece is out of this world. I mean, it has to balance. You balanced right there. Your turning is out of this world.
Well, see, the top and bottom are bows. So if you turn,
No, we understand. No, that's what makes it so nice.
Oh,
Look how
But you
pretty it
have to
looks.
turn Yeah. One thing, Howard, is you have to have those two bowls have to be turned exact.
right.
So
Right,
that you
that's so
put them
pretty.
together. That's easier said than done.
And you got to match the curve too, so that they match.
Exactly.
You know?
It's
Yeah.
like, so you can glue those together. That's very well done. Extremely well done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I
and
did something right. Yay.
You did a whole lot.
Yeah. You did one thing right. Yeah. Hey, Howard, that's nice. That's
Now, when
Okay.
you're in the
nice.
process
Well,
of doing that, when you look away, do you keep seeing leaves for an hour or so?
Yeah. And I can work about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I stop and I'll go turn something else for a while, get my mind off of it.
Mm.
And then I'll go, my wife helped me to do something. And then it gets real hard to get back on it. But once I get back on it, I'd work an hour and a half, 2 hours on it. So
So how did you come up with the design?
well, I wanted to make kind of my wife says it's an Arabian type thing, you know,
Oh.
with the
Yes,
with
yeah, I
the
can see
you rub it and
that.
the
Right,
genie pops
right,
out.
right.
Yeah. The
No, right,
genie,
of
yeah,
course.
the
So
magic
so
lamp.
yeah, so that's what I had in mind first, putting all this together, and then I said, well, what am I going to put on it? You know, and so
It's really
because
pretty. It really is.
because the hard maple is, you know, there's no grain or anything in it. It's just that
It's
color,
just
you know.
hard.
And so anyway, so I played around with some and I'm a terrible artist, so
No, I
I,
wouldn't say
I
that.
just
Humbug. You're a great artist.
Yeah.
You're a bad liar.
Yeah. I think you're cutting yourself short there. You do very well. I think, yeah.
and I had a big struggle on what to do with this, and so I just came up with something like that. You know,
That was what I was just going to ask you next. Is how'd you make the neck? What made you give that design?
Yeah.
just play
Well,
around and it took forever on this. Let me tell you, and it's hard to do. You can't hold it. You know, you can't hold it.
yeah.
So
The
anyway,
draw on it is really tricky.
How long
Yeah.
did it take you to make it?
off and on, I guess about a month.
Easy.
About a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't constantly work on this one item. You know,
Right.
can't you go? I'm already nutty anyway, so I'd really be nutty if I did that all that once.
That's a pretty good buddy right there.
Yeah. You pulled it together completely when you did the brown. The brown coming down, you know, where you did the stippling, the burning, where
Here.
on the neck, the colors came right down to the next part, which
Yeah.
just blended it all completely together.
Yeah. Oh, this boundary right here is where the opening that this
Yeah.
fits down in.
Right.
And so anyway, this is the edge of this top part up here, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, it does. Mortise and tenon construction.
So in order to keep from seeing that gap, I burned it right along that edge there all the way around.
Yeah, I love that trick. I use it a lot.
Yeah. You got to camouflage everything, you know?
I think that's it.
Well, you can't even tell. Can't even tell.
So anyway, and I wanted some sort of boundary between this and this. They're so different figure and, you know, art. So I left a space there.
That's the contrast. You're right.
Yeah. So
that's the contrast completely.
And same with the bottom.
Yeah.
This design, this is so different.
Completely. You're right.
That's so different that. So I had to have some sort of boundary between it.
Right. Well, it's a good way to frame it.
Yeah.
And I used a recess when turning on this piece, and I had a tenon on this side because I was thinking, once I glue this together, how am I going to hold it to take the tenon off and insert this?
Right,
So
right.
I couldn't leave a 10 in here, and I was trying to get as much volume out of this maple in order to, get good size. So anyway, that's the reason on the recess. So
Yeah. It
I
looks great.
guess part of my madness, I guess.
Beautiful plant.
Isn't it? That's madness. That's
Yep.
really pretty. Really pretty.
And I
Great.
sprayed it with a clear enamel, several coats of clear enamel. And so, and you got to be real careful when you're doing that with India ink, because it'll melt the ink. Ask me how I know that.
Oh,
Because
really?
I've done it before, and that's painful. I have to clean that up. So
Wow.
Wow.
You got
anyway,
to do real light. You have to spray it with real light coats.
real light, and
Okay.
you got to be patient. You got to be really patient. Because last time I just like to just spray and
Just lay it on.
lay it on there. Get it done. Get this thing done.
Right. Yeah. Get her done. Yeah.
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 Wow. Really?
Well, that's a fantastic piece, Howard. I always look forward to it when you pop in and I know you've got something to show, and then I'm just waiting until the end, when you say I got something to show.
Yeah, I wait till then so that there's not too many people on to laugh at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Yeah,
What
right.
I'm gonna start doing is just calling on you sooner.
Oh no, don't do
You
that.
don't have to follow Mark Soleil.
Yeah, uh-oh.
I'll tell you what, Howard, you know what? That is like, there aren't any words to describe that. That's a very pretty piece.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that really is. There aren't any words to describe what that is.
And
It's like a mix. It's a mix of Baroque and Middle Eastern design, so it's
yeah.
Right. I mean,
works. It works.
And I don't
That's
think I'm going
just-
to put a finial on it, Dane.
No, I wouldn't put a finial on it. No, no finial.
No,
I agree.
I figured you might ask me, won't you put a finial on it?
No, not on that piece.
Not on this
not
one,
need
no.
a finial.
You're
Yes,
the
sir.
only one that thought of that.
Right.
That
Oh.
looks that piece says Morocco to me. That looks Morocco.
Well, that's what I had in mind. That's, in back of mind,
You got it. You hit it.
well,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
nailed.
That needs to go in the newsletter. Just saying.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Let's go to Mr. Hatch. Hey, Tim.
Hey, good evening, everybody. So that little urn I was working on last week, when I started hollowing it, I could only get so far, and then I was worried about punching through the wall and everything. So, of course, we did a little visualizer demo a couple years ago, and I've been kicking the idea around for a while. Well, I found a new YouTube wood turner, new to me anyway, by the name of Tony Turns Wood. They're on YouTube, and he had a poor man's visualizer. Basically, I put a link in the description up top there. That way, if somebody wants to look at it, it's got a good parts list to it. But I had a 21-inch television I pulled out of one of my old RVs. The wife had it in her shop for a while. And what I ended up doing was, for my Trent Bosch stabilizer, ended up coming up with this rig here. That's a 15 millimeter rod. The parts list that Tony gives you, there's 4 rods all together. One's 12-inch, one's 8-inch. You give this longer rod here, and then I just took one of the sections off here. Also has this connector in it. So if you're trying to figure out how to make that connection with 290s, well, there it is. And that was fairly cheap from Amazon. The only expensive part that I bought was from Trent Bosch, $12 coupler that goes up on top of his hauling rig there. With shipping and handling, that was $22. But works pretty good. I really am not going to complain. Let me turn around so you can see the big screen.
Oh, okay.
So I've got this this TV hooked up to my laptop computer or just to the visualizer itself. But you can see right up in there as I'm going through here, I'm down to 3/16 wall thickness all the way around except the very top. But yeah, that worked out like a charm. So this is dry erase marker. So it comes off once you set it, like everybody's seen before, once you set it, all you got to do is take your dry erase marker. You can either do just the tip, but I like to see where the entire tool is. That way I know what's going on. And then, take my measuring device and go around the outer edge with the darker color, offset color, so I know when I reach that wall thickness and everything. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty good deal. I just figured I'd go ahead and share that with everybody. I know a lot of guys, myself included, I have that laser for my elbow tool, and I like the laser, but this was something that when I saw it at SWAT a couple years ago, I said, yeah, I need to buy one of those. And I looked on Trent's shop on his website, and it's like $750. So I think between the $12 cam, I got less than $100 in this thing, less than
Nice.
and like I say, that link that I put in earlier,
Yeah,
for
I put it in again that way everybody can see
okay,
it. Awesome.
yeah, that link there has a really good parts list and everything, for backup camera with a little monitor you can put on your lathe and everything. But I already had the TV, so I figured, what the hell, I'll just go ahead and make it out of
Right.
that. So,
Hey Tim,
anybody have
can
any questions on that?
Yeah, I do. Would I be able to twist your arm into writing up an article and
Yeah,
adding a couple
that's going to
pictures on
be
that?
part of that epoxy article that I'm getting ready to
Okay.
write up. So I'll
Okay.
talk about the visualizer in that, and then I'll maybe write another article when I get time on how this thing all came together. So
Yeah. Make it a 2-part series. That'll work.
yep.
Heck yeah.
But, I'll tell you, it's a blessing, because sitting there trying to measure
Yeah.
wall thickness and everything else. The only issue that I saw was make sure that you crank those set screws so nothing wobbles or wiggles. But as far as attaching the camera, Tony was using a rivet and a piece of the bracket. I just ended up using 15 or 5-minute epoxy. Just put a little dab on there that held my camera in place, and it does a great job. But I can also use this camera for demos later on. We're trying to figure out how to do different views. I can do a top view, and I can do a side view with the extra camera.
Right.
I do need to buy an adapter to plug from the AVI cable into a USB, but that's the only part I need. So, all right,
Very cool. All right. Thank you,
and
sir.
I think Joaquin just got in here.
Yes,
and he's
sir.
got
Yep,
something to
he
discuss.
sure did. I've got him coming up next.
All right, sir. We'll see you all next week.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. Bye-bye. Joaquin, the American
Hey.
dream.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, in our club, we had a 2-inch cube challenge to turn something out of a 2x2x2 cube, and I come up with this little vase. If you saw it on Facebook,
Yeah, it was nice.
I had found some little old flowers that were growing on a vine out on the fence. I put them in there and I gave them to my wife for her Mother's Day, and she thought that was great. I did it as a joke, but she thought it was really fantastic piece.
Right.
And so I said, what else can I turn? And so, I guess y'all remember these, the old spin top.
Yeah.
Because I had it in point to point. I thought, and I said, well, you might as well make a 3-point bow. So this little 3-point bow.
Nice.
Yeah. I said, well, you need to do a lidded one. So I did this lidded one.
There you go. All mesquite, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful wood.
And so
walnut of the Southwest.
I was digging for something to put in the gallery at SWAT, and I found this piece of Norfolk Island pine, which all of ours froze down here 2 years ago. We don't have a Norfolk Island tree left anywhere. And so I had decided to make a base. Yeah. And this
great use of the notch.
And got this through a friend of a friend who passed away, and it had 1995 on it when he originally cut it out. It turned out real good on the outside. I've got a little bit of punkiness on the inside, but I didn't worry about it. But there's not
beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
You got a great finish on. Is that lacquer?
That's lacquer. 50-50 lacquer.
Nice.
But it
great job.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I got.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
What do I do with the deer antler? Is there any kind of finish that goes on it, or
no?
No.
You use some of your finest sandpaper. I use the compounds.
Yeah.
Waxes and stuff to just polish it.
Okay.
And then there's even I started out putting CA glue on them and shining them.
Yeah.
But it just didn't have the look as a polished deer horn did.
Got it.
To polish it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that.
Yeah. It'll come out great. You'll love it.
And be real careful with that dust on that antler. It's like asbestos. Don't breathe it.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have the respirator on. Thank you.
Joaquin, please send that vase in for the newsletter.
Okay, I'll do it.
I got your little teeny one in. That's going in. But that Norfolk pine, that's beautiful. Please send that in.
Yes, it is.
All right.
That's great. Yeah, everybody is still on here. Everyone that showed something tonight. If you haven't sent a email with a picture of your item that you showed to editor@worldwidewoodturners.org, you need to do so we can get it into the newsletter, because it's worthy to be seen by millions of other people as well. So we got a hell of a distribution racket going on with our newsletter. Everybody is wanting a copy of it, and it's being propagated out into other forums outside of Worldwide Woodturners. So, and a testament to Joaquin on what he is doing on his side in putting together an outstanding newsletter. So many props to him. JJ, thank you very much for what you do. Then it goes without saying, our website, or webmaster blaster Dave Rhodes, he's doing so much work keeping our website up to date and keeping the hackers out, making improvements every day, sometimes every other day, and along with the YouTube channel, getting the videos loaded for the meeting and the demos, and clipping out segments that are important or what we think are important. Doing an excellent job, Dave. I really appreciate you. Everybody appreciates you.
I appreciate it.
And everybody else that's here 36 times.
Oh no, hey Dave.
We'll take myself out. I appreciate everybody, being here as well. So
well, hey Dave.
Yeah.
How do you go and put a website together? I mean, somewhere along the line, someone is spending money, and this whole club, somewhere along the line, there's money somewhere. Can someone please be like
a year's rental of a web?
This is nothing is free. Somebody's spending money.
Al, a year's website rental from GoDaddy is like $12 for the year for a website.
That's just a domain name.
Yes, yeah, for the domain, and then you need a host, and you can get inexpensive hosting with all
To make
kinds
a
of database.
website? To make a
Yeah, and
website?
that gives you the place to host it, and then somebody has to write the web pages, which is what Dave is doing.
You know
So
what?
that grows.
You're right. See, now, okay. I
Need
mean,
memory, got server.
You know,
the real talent is in what Dave's doing.
Pretty much
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot here. There's a lot here.
Yeah, I did that for a living for a year. I did that for a living for years, so I know, database backed websites and stuff. So I know exactly what has to happen. So I know what Dave's doing. So thanks, Dave.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Dave. Believe me, this is you know what? Wednesday nights is probably, I mean, it's so cool. I mean, I work all through the week to make sure that I have something to show or talk about. It's nice. Every Wednesday night. Thanks, Cap. How you doing? Cap, is Cap on?
No, Cap's already boogered off.
Well,
but yeah, go ahead with what you want to say about Cap Nettie.
No, I just want to say, thanks for Wednesday nights. That's all. That's all.
This is
Hey, we're all
Captain Eddie Castleton, and it is pretty awesome.
No,
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for Wednesday nights.
Well, I love the longevity of it too, and the family we've built here. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yes.
So
it is.
And they told us it couldn't be done, and we're going on what, 5 years strong. So
no, we're going on. We're coming up on 6 years real quick.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great legacy for all of us. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, and to be doing what we're doing, every week, and for everybody that demonstrates for us, every week, the brick and mortar clubs are lucky to be able to get a demonstration once a month at their meetings. And we're doing it once a week, every week without fail. And then when we have somebody fall out, something happens where, it's a Monday or a Tuesday and the scheduled demonstrator reaches out to me and says, hey, something happened, I can't do it. And then for the most part, I've got my standby guys that I know that can just jump in and do something. And it's just an honor to be able to facilitate and do what we're doing here in this group and keep building it the way we are, and then to level up.
Well, and this is a lot of fun tonight.
Dane, you do so much, keeping everybody organized and finding those people and dragging them kicking and screaming in. But no, I don't. Don't really.
Well, and we had very short notice to do it this week.
Exactly.
When did you get a hold of me? Was that Monday or Sunday?
Yeah, it was Monday. It was Monday, Matt.
Yeah, and
it would have been it was Monday morning for me, so it was about noon, 1 o'clock for you. So, yep.
Yeah, and it was and it gave me an opportunity because I've been wanting to make a lighthouse, just haven't had the motivation. So this gave me the motivation to figure it out, and set up a demo for y'all. So
right.
Thank you to all you people that do the demos, and thank you, Dane, for organizing.
The craziest thing, I went and I showed that, and the last thing Dane said was, "Well, that was a good starter for the night." I was wondering all that. What the heck are you talking about? There's like 5 or 6 of us, and then all of a sudden you're having that. I said, "Oh my God, it's like kind of scary tonight." I'm sorry, I'm not on.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, and it's and it was fun because it's like I said, Al, you've been inspirational with the lighthouses you've made, and some of the others have too. So it's it's something I've been wanting to try, and it was
such a great night. It was a great night, Matt. That was great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good. Well, is that the way you do them? I mean,
No. I just slice the top off. And I drilled a hole. What was that? Oh, oh, where's that? It's over there.
Yeah, because I woke up in the middle of the night Monday thinking about, all right, how can I do this better? So it's like,
Right.
No. The main thing was I saw
Night, Doug.
I saw the bark of wood, and I said, "Oh my God, Rita!" you know.
yeah. Rita's lighthouses are great too. She's a very,
Yeah,
very
I
also
mean,
inspirational.
No, but the top, I drilled 5 holes, and those are finishing nails. They're finishing nails. Well, I did the same thing. I mean, I drilled down, to accept the candle, but only one spot. If I turn around and you look at all the openings, there's one opening that's just a little bit goofier. And that's how you know pull it out.
Well, the first one I did, I couldn't get the holes to match up. I was like, all right, I got to do this better. So it's all good, man.
I did that on purpose so I could get my fingers in there and pull the candle out to turn it on and put it back in. See?
Yeah, very smart, very smart. Good plan.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't do what you did. I mean, what you did tonight was that was very enjoyable, very enjoyable.
All right. So what did you get out of it? What I did tonight that was different from the way you do it?
No, you were more precise. I mean, obviously, I mean, I turned from here to here. I made just a spindle.
Okay.
If you could look down in there, yeah, you could see the tenant is still on. See it?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
You could have made a hole to take the tenon on the piece of wood there you're holding.
Yeah. Yes. Of course. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
No, it was, and it's. I mean, besides anybody that doesn't know anything about wood turning, it's being rotted away from the waves. But like all of us wood turners know that that's a tenant there.
Yes,
Right.
yes, we do.
Yes, yeah.
This is a rotting island lighthouse. Only you
Al,
know what that is.
Al, you're just a slacker. That's all there is to it.
Hey, Al, let's see you put some burn lines on it next week.
What's that?
Let's see you put some burn lines on it next week.
No. This is done. No, this is done.
Matt, I'll tell you what my takeaway was.
Okay.
Since you'd asked Al, I'll answer mine. And my takeaway was I liked the way you used those tenons as a guide for those drill bits to go in square and at a perfect circumference around.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Around the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I came. That's another one of those things. I got that in the middle. I got that in the middle of the night. So it's like, you wake up in the middle of the night thinking crazy stuff.
I love those kind of ideas.
That was a great one.
I keep a notepad. Keep a notepad on my nightstand for when something crazy pops in the head, and I'll quickly sketch it out.
You guys know I do.
With an issue I got to figure out, and I'll wake up with it. And
right.
Yeah.
I got one right here.
And then my second.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who wakes up with the solution.
Yes.
All the time.
All the time.
And Matt, my second takeaway is that I thoroughly enjoyed the demonstration, because for the last 8-9 months, every piece of wood I see looks like a lighthouse since Rita's demonstration at SWAT. And my wife has probably had enough of them because she's told me that. But now this is a different take on it that I'll have to make also. So
awesome.
You mean like that one sitting to your left, Todd?
Oh yeah, that's probably the last one I did right there. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I tell you, when I did a little bit of YouTube research on this too, and one of the things that came up is that some, I mean, the little lines and stuff I did with the beading tool. I love the beading tool and the way it makes the lines consistent distance. It's a great tool for that. But one of the, if you look at like real lighthouses, they have broader stripes on them. They're not the small ones like the lines I did. They're broad. You know what I mean? I don't know. And red and white, so you can see them in the middle of winter or whatever. So,
or just have a big light is the way you could see them in the middle of winter.
Yeah. Details, Al, details.
I'm here on the East Coast, so I mean, I see a lot of them, and this was such a wild night, man. Wow, that was just a wild night.
And then, Matt, I'll tell you something else I was thinking while I was watching your demo. Because of the way you had cut that tenon in there at first, I was thinking, okay, the top part of the lighthouse, when you separate it with that tenon, you could hollow out the bottom part of it and have a lighthouse the way I made it here, where it's solid up there. And this would be the cap for like a little storage area or something in there. It'd be a little box. I kept looking at it and thinking that's a box waiting to happen.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
With that as the lid.
There's a lot of room. There's a lot of room in there. You just take that Forstner bit down more and you got all kinds of space.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you could leave a little lip in there for the light to sit in and just use a smaller Forstner bit and go like 10 inches down or 4 inches down or whatever. And you could put, rolls of cash in there if you have.
Yeah. That just for your all's information, that's not where I'm going to hide my money.
That was good. We know where to look over at Matt's house.
It ain't in the wood turning because that's obvious, guys.